Yeah. Note to self, always gotta keep it real.
1 2 1 2.
For me to make a song about how I feel. And if you ain't rocking with it, it's love still. I know there's some niggas that spinning it like some car wheels. Yeah. And let
1 2 1 2. All right, guys. We are about to go live on the stream. We are about to start the session. Can I ask that we have phones on silent now? If you haven't done it yet, please make sure that your phone is on silent. You can definitely still post, but make sure the phone is on silent. And as I'm just going to repeat it just so you guys remember, now we're going to go into the session, then we'll have a Q&A. After that Q&A, we'll go back into the session and have one more Q&A. Now, then we'll do the break and then we'll do the pitching. Cool? You guys feeling all right? Why do you guys feel like you're nervous? Nah? Yeah, there's money on the line. You get nervous and there's money on the line. Your life is on the line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together for DJ Smooth?
Sanbonani ninjani? This looks beautiful, guys. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mike. Le mic legos over here, I think let me leave it to the audience. I don't know who I can give it to. Okay. You let me know when we're streaming, nah? Are we live? Yo. We're already live so quick. Hallelujah. I don't know which camera am I. Oh, there it is. YouTube world, how you guys doing? Okay. Let me know when you're ready with that one. And while we're waiting, I would like to bring in our first guest. When we did this about a month and a half ago, so myself and the gentleman that's sitting next to me, we spoke and said, let's take this on the road, Mfanageti. Let's go help. Let's go to the people. It's always nice to be online on these radios and these social media platforms. Sikhulume ngokuthi we want to be out there and assist, yabo. So Sakil said, no, Subuda, let's do these events and let's go out there. So this is a first of many others to come. I know we were oversubscribed. There were some people who did not make it in this room. I thought it would be difficult to get 100 people in a short notice announcing this thing since Monday. But we're sitting at over 400 subscriptions and we kind of felt, we didn't know what so many people would want to come. We can only host 100. Okay, so now we're now live. We can only host 100 of you. So thank you for making it into the room. Welcome to the Hustler'S Corner Entrepreneurship I don't know what to call it. I mean, I think Sakil will decide, but thank you for coming back, bro.
Yeah. Morning, everyone. My name is Sakil Mkambi. I'm basically the guy in the streets. I do social media a lot. I started social media 15 years ago, advertising on Facebook. I'm an author. I've written 2 books. The first book is Breaking Free, Ending the Cycle. So it's basically when you are getting out of the system and you're shifting the paradigm from doing normal things, we remember we went to crèche, we went to primary school. After primary school, high school, we were told to get a job. And after a job, you retire poor. So this book is all about changing your mindset and shifting your paradigm and thinking like an entrepreneur. So this book is more like inspirational. And I wrote this book without any internet or anything. When I was writing this book, I was mining gold in Zimbabwe. So we were mining gold in a village. We had no internet, we had nothing. So during the day, I would just type this book on my phone because I remember I had a power bank there. I would just type until I finish it. So it's also like an autobiography. It's a very nice read. And then after this book, I noticed that a lot of people, they are motivational speakers. People will tell you to wake up, work hard, all of these words. And people love to hear those words that give them hope. But this book is just business ideas strictly. From the first page to the last page, there's no motivation here, there's nothing. like how to start a car wash business, how to start a butchery, what are the costs involved, where do you get suppliers? This is just practicality. So this was my second book. I was just sharing business ideas because that's what I do on a daily basis. So these are the two books I've written. I wrote this book 2017, and we sold over 7,000 copies. And I was selling each copy for 300. And this one, I think I've sold over 3,000 copies, so 10,000 plus copies sold combined. I didn't use any publishers. I went to Fiverr. I got editors from Fiverr. They edited the books for me. And I went to Impress Printers. They printed the books for me. I advertised on social media. I sold my books via WhatsApp. So there was no one involved. There was no middleman involved. There's no store involved. There's no one but me. And I made good money out of it. And it also, the money from the books funded my other mining projects, you see, because I already had an audience on social media. So I've done a lot of things before. I've done almost everything. Tenders, I've failed. I've sold cars. I mean, I've gone into real estate. There's a lot of things that I've done before. I have a lot of experience. I started my journey on my first year at university. That's when I started my journey of being an entrepreneur. And truthfully speaking, I was not born an entrepreneur. I'm sort of an introvert. I'm an introvert even now, but I had to force myself to get into entrepreneurship because I remember I've always wanted to be a chartered accountant. Like growing up, I wanted to be a chartered accountant. And then when I reached matric, I couldn't get the results. But the reason why I wanted to be a chartered accountant is not because I had passion in accounting. I wasn't passionate about accounting. I was more passionate about the lifestyle of the accounting. Just like some other people are passionate about the lifestyle of a doctor, but they are not passionate about medicine. So when I got to matric, I didn't pass my maths very well. So I ended up going to University of Technology to do a diploma there. And then when I went to university, I asked my lecturer, like, since I'm here now, and I think that time my mother was struggling a lot. You know, our parents, they struggled a lot to raise us, especially single parents. They are going to loan sharks. Our elder sisters, they are making children and all of that stuff. So I think my mom would give me like 500 rands a month for everything. I used to wear a pack in school, like flip-flops. I didn't even have money. I wore like 2 or 3 pants. And like I looked at my situation, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna suffer for 3 years here. And after 3 years, I asked my lecturer, which was Mr. Nyide, okay, Mr. Nyide, when I complete my diploma, what are the chances of me getting a job? And how much will I earn if I do get a job? He was like, no, you're only doing a diploma, man. You're only gonna get like maybe 3.5. I'm like, 3.5? So if I get 3.5, what about my rent? What about my food? What about the situation at home? You see, now that's where the entrepreneurial journey starts. Because every time, even when my mother sent me money, she would like complain. I'm like, "Ish, what you know, this and this and this." I ain't patanga. So that's when I was like, okay, now I have to think of something else because this formula will not work. I cannot walk myself into poverty in 4 years. There's something I can do within these 4 years, you see. And then I met a guy, fortunately enough, my mother had, you know, my mother had taken a pension, like I think when I was doing grade 10. She took her pension, she paid Ikwele, she paid that, and she managed to buy me a laptop before she went back to work. So I had a laptop, and the laptop was something a luxury. I think around 2009, 8, it was luxury, and I had a laptop. So there was this guy called Ulaki. He was a very rich kid. He used to, you know, when there are events at university, when there are events like maybe Freshers' Ball. Freshers' Ball is on the 17th. And the school principal says they only pay out money on the 31st. So if you are organizing the Freshers' Ball event, you need to pay the artist and everything on the 17th. So my guy was like the middleman who used to loan those guys doing event money. And he was maybe a year older than me, but he would loan people 300,000, 400,000. And I found that out because we used to listen to the same music. So when he went into e-banking, online banking, I would see like huge amounts of money. I'm like, guy, how do you do this? You see? And then that's where the journey started. Then I think he took me to a Forex seminar. Yeah, it was a Forex seminar hosted by some popular guys who were popular at the time in the Forex. He took me there, they showed me this Forex thingy and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. We started that Forex journey, it failed. And then that's where my journey began. And I got another guy who used to sell multiple finance products, even including insurance. So this guy would give me commission on his commission. So that's when I started pushing insurance to lecturers. I would go to attend classes until 12. After 12, I would dress up nicely, wear a formal shirt. I'd go to all the lecturer rooms. And I started making like 8 to 25,000 a month on my second year. You see, and that transformed like my life and my mind. Like I discovered that I can make so much money as a student, as an entrepreneur. And I was like, okay, do I really like, because I had to study maybe 8 more years for me to be a chartered accountant. Do I really want to be a chartered accountant? Do I love these numbers or I just want money? And that's when I decided, no, yes, I want money. So this is what I should stick to. I stuck to entrepreneurship. I wasn't attending a class anymore. My mom used to beg me to go to class and stuff because I didn't see the need for going to a class in. I just dodged classes. I just focused on the money, until I completed my diploma. After 4 years, I left my diploma there at school. I think I was owing 10,000. And then I told them, nah, I'm leaving it. I left it there and I've never seen my diploma. I'll never use my diploma anyway, you see. So after completing, yeah, I don't think I'll ever use my diploma because I've been through the worst. I've slept in bushes, in hospitals. There's nothing that is worse that can happen to me. Maybe if I get disabled, but I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of living in the streets, going to the hospital. I'm not scared by being wanted by Inkabi or whatever. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. So that's where the journey like started.
You've been wanted by Zamazamas. They wanted to kill you at some point.
I ran away from Zimbabwe, being chased by Zamazamas and stuff, you see. So that's where the journey started. So what I want to say to you today is a lot of people have the fear of the unknown. They don't know what's going to happen, and they are trapped in a system. What was hard for me, I think entrepreneurship got harder for me when I completed my diploma because now the routine has changed. You see, when you wake up, you go to school. You wake up, you go to school. You have a routine, right? So when you wake up, you no longer go to school. You feel like you're doing something wrong. That's where you start getting messed up because it's like everyone is gone. Everyone has gone to work. What are you doing? You see, you start feeling like you are not productive or you are doing something that is completely wrong. And like it took years for me to get used to the fact that I'm an entrepreneur. So even if I'm going to work an hour a day, if it's productive, it's fine. I don't have to work on Monday. I don't have to work during the week only. I can work at 12 midnight. But as long as I'm productive on that day, that is fine for me. So it took years for me to shift the paradigm. So that's why a lot of people, they don't want to quit their jobs. They don't want to focus on their journey of being entrepreneurs. It's because they are like, to shift the paradigm, to shift the mindset is very, very hard. You think it's easy. You think, I'm going to do it. I'm going to quit school. It's very, very hard. Because now you are shifting from the routine and you think you are doing something wrong. And it's even worse when you are failing because of those failing days. It's very, very hard because everyone around you, even the people that love you, they be like, I told you so. The one thing that breaks me a lot about my journey is that I didn't spend enough time with my late mother after getting into the journey of entrepreneurship because she was against it, you see. So at some point, you need to avoid long conversations with some people in order for you to stick to a journey, especially when you are still struggling. Because now you're gonna go there in Zobuga Indaba, watch narration, watch Spire, and then everyone disappears, and then it's you and your mother. You know the next question that's gonna come. What are you doing? I'm doing a business. You're doing a business, but you don't even buy a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread, as well as a loaf work. Why you don't get a job? You see. So now, because of that, you're avoiding long conversations. You avoid family gatherings. They hit harder. I remember one of my cousins worked at the school at the same time. 3 months later, she's driving in Aetios. You see, and then my business is like falling apart. I don't even have anything. Even for that gathering, I didn't bring anything. And they were like, look, your cousin, look, she's driving now. She has a car. And then there's this period where you don't know what you are doing. Next thing, there's some next thing is not the caps,
T-shirts.
It's the t-shirts, you see. So, and then a person walks up to you and be like, Wenzan. You don't know. My uncle walks up to me, family gathering, Wenzan or Sakil. Even they would hold meetings and be like, we are worried about Sakil. You see, not that I wasn't working, I was hustling. The money was just not coming. You know? Sometimes it doesn't come. I don't know if it's spiritual or what. I was the hardest working person in the room. I was hard working, but money, dwe. When it comes to money, dwe. I remember I used to even find places for business people in town because it's difficult to get a place in town. I would walk up and down in town. Give me down. Call Capel. I've been running. Maybe you give me 100 rand. Say thank you, boy. And this person is a mafia. He's rich. He's a mafia, and you're a small boy. If you can't even say anything, you just accept the 100 rand. I'm still tough days, and the family here now. You are scared to even go home because they're gonna give you a job. Because I remember, my mom went to work. I think teachers were open early at school. So she went to work the first day and she came back like, are you sitting like this? I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting. I'm still thinking what I'm going to do for that year. And then the following day she came with some forms. I don't know what was written in those forms. And she was like, okay, tomorrow I don't want to find you sitting here. I've got you something. She put that on the table. I never want to find you sitting here. Hey, that's when I was like, if she comes back tomorrow, she mustn't find me here. She came back. I found money to go back to Durban. When she came back, I was squatting with my guy at the University of Cape, and he was a lecturer there. I was gone because I saw he's going to put me in the system. And Mina, I cannot work in. You need to know yourself as a person. I can't work when I'm in a comfort zone. You see. So if I ever got that job, I don't think I'll be here today. You see, I was gonna be comfortable after a job. Maybe I get a wife, I get a promotion, I make children, and now I'm in debt. Like when you get to 34, if you are in the corporate working class, you are deep in debt. You know that the system. So I'll be in debt now, be miserable, but with a lot of children and a beautiful wife and 2 cars. You understand? That's where I will be if I took those papers from my mother, but I chose to take the path that is less chosen, and it messed me up big time, you see. So I took the path less chosen, and I found myself squatting with my guy there. I was kicked out. I found myself at some point sharing one apartment with 18 people, you see. A lot happened, but I told myself that no, I'm not going back to a comfort zone. You see, because the comfort zone, I can't work when I'm comfortable. And some people they are not progressive because they need to move out of home. Some people can hustle from home, Some people, they are not progressive, because how can you hustle when you're gonna go out and play and come back with the food in the microwave? You don't even know where the food comes from. So Senzo, your food is in the microwave. You just come and warm your food, you eat. You put your plate there, you sleep. And you like, I'm unemployed. I'm unemployed. You're wearing short pants the whole day, I'm unemployed. Maybe one day. Some of the guys, they are smoking in the corners, they're smoking weed. You see, in my neighborhood now, guys are working for Ethiopians now, just for weed. Guys with degrees. They're earning 1,000 a month, 900, 1,000. Guys with degrees, they wake up, they go there, you find them sweeping for the Ethiopians, some of them bar security. Their lives are in the shops. Graduates. So that, like, young Tindalondo are cool. So sometimes you need to move out of, you jump over the cliff and you grow your wings on your way down.
I love what you've just said. I'm gonna come in there, but Sakil. Sometimes you need to do that. Not even having a parachute. Just jump. Jump onto that leap of faith. You'll figure it out as you go. And some of you guys are still young. Like, you need to be exploring all now. Akutshela ukuthi wenze lokhu wayenza nalokhu wayenza nalokhu wafuna wamazama wayenza lokhu wafeyila sifeyile kaningi nami same here. I've done so many things that I've been failing in. And with entrepreneurship, you only need to be right once, you know? So for those that are in the shoes of that young Sakil that he was speaking about, I guess you relate to the people that are on stage today. Sakil, the last time we were here, we said we'll bring in some other people who might have help for our entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So I kind of feel maybe let's start with our first one. We've got a couple of them. We've got 4 more that are coming. We'll maybe give them 15 minutes each, or 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see. But I think when they do come in, instead of me and Sakil engaging them and asking them questions, I think it'll be better for them to express themselves, present themselves, who they are, what do they do, what type of help do they provide for you guys. And then from there, as soon as they've shared what do they do, how can they help you, where they're from, who they are, whatever, then we'll give you guys a chance to ask them the questions. So we don't want it to be one way where we're the only ones that are speaking here, and then you guys only ask the questions at the end of the session. No, we want you guys to be running this entire program today. So I think maybe it's safe to say, let me bring in the first person from the South African Reserve Bank. Please welcome on stage, Gerald Mariamutu. Thank you, bro. Because a lot of us, when we hear the word the South African Reserve Bank, we get intimidated. A lot of us don't understand how economics work. Some of us, we don't even know what does the South African Reserve Bank do. We do know it has a lot to do with money, though. How and etc. So I just wanted to thank you guys. I want to thank you, Gerald, for making your time to come here today. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do at the South African Reserve Bank? What do they do at the South African Bank, at the Reserve Bank? And what help do you think you might, or information you might have for our entrepreneurs in the room?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, just pull it closer next to you. Just pull it closer.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, sure.
So my name is Gerald Mariamutu. I am a currency integrity investigator within the South African Reserve Bank. I think you were asking, what does the Reserve Bank do? I think the primary mandate of the bank is to protect the integrity of our currency. But more specific to my role, I train law enforcement. I travel across the country also providing support to law enforcement. And I think you have an interesting topic today in terms of entrepreneurship. You know, Spoo, when we look at entrepreneurship, where South Africa has one of the most resilient entrepreneurs. But what kills ideas is the lack of knowledge, trying to take shortcuts. And I think that in South Africa, the problem is that we don't have a lack of entrepreneurs. We have a lack of ethical ones. And I want to talk on compliance because it's very important, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't fail because they're dishonest. They fail because lack of knowledge in terms of tax laws, in terms of anti-money laundering regulations. You know, You'll see someone coming to invest in your business, you think, oh, it's a good injection. Meantime, that person's using your business as a vehicle to launder money. And then you wonder why the law enforcement is coming to knock on your door 2 o'clock in the morning, picking you up. So I think the most important thing is you are asking, how does the Reserve Bank play a role when it comes to entrepreneurship and stuff? So the Reserve Bank is actually a regulating authority where you regulate commercial banks and institutions and so forth. But more importantly is that entrepreneurship is not a local thing, it's an international thing. When you're moving money across borders, it's very important to check the laws because you might just find yourself in hot water at the end of the day. And one of the biggest things is moving money in and out of the country must go through your bank and it needs to be sanctioned by the Reserve Bank, meaning authority must be given to bring money in or to take money out. You'll find that, recently we've been taken off the grey list. One of the main reasons that we got onto the grey list was because of flouting money laundering laws. And one of the biggest things is that, as entrepreneurs, when you take shortcuts, corruption buys you comfort, but it doesn't buy you credibility. One of the biggest things is that credibility is the only currency that doesn't lose value. And when you're building a business, even if you're building it, even if it's slow, build it strong because your name is important. Once you enter that door and your name is there, people calling your name, that is where the integrity lasts. And integrity is a very big thing because it'll take you a long way, more than opportunities could take you. In terms of what the bank can offer you in terms of assistance, compliance, because we are a regulatory authority. When a lot of times the entrepreneurs, when you think you're making the money and all of those things there, you forget that there's also taxes to be paid. There's also labor laws that need to be adhered to. There's also other regulatory institutions that you might fall under, that you might not be aware of. And they'll be coming to knock on your door to say, listen, you've been running your business, you've been making money, but we see that you are doing 1, 2, and 3 that is flouting certain laws. So I think the most important thing is to maintain financial integrity.
Maintain financial integrity.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
So maintaining financial integrity is, whilst you're earning, make sure that the money that you are bringing in or going out is that you're paying your taxes, right? Secondly, you're paying your dues in terms of regulatory authorities that you might fall under. And obviously, depending on the type of business that you're doing, the regulatory authority that you fall under will be guided, you'll be guided by that.
So I'll ask you maybe 2 more questions. Maybe I'll ask one more. I'll give Sakil an opportunity, and then I'll ask maybe one more, and then I'll give it to the audience. And I've written them down. What practical steps can any of these young entrepreneurs that are in the room take today to improve their chances of accessing legitimate capital? I do know that's a question that will be asked to our other guests that are coming, because they also come from funding institutions. I know there's a lot of funding institutions. There's your CFAs, you've got others that give out grants, you've got your NYDA, and I know a lot of us are frustrated with the government. We'll talk about that later. I don't know, and frustrated. I've been trying to go to their office, I've been emailing them, they don't get back to me. Now, why and for instance, the NYDA, they fund from 10,000 rands, they fund all the way up to 50,000 rands. They fund. They've got that tier, and there's a tier of 50,000 to 100,000. They fund all the way up to 250,000 to 300,000 rands. And the NYDA guys gives grants. I sat down with the CEO, and what he said to me, Gerald and Sakil, he said to me, Subusiso, our frustrations are when we give them money, these young people, we want to make sure it goes to where it's supposed to go to, and it makes a difference to the entrepreneur's business, such that 12 months later, we can see the difference that the grant has made. But you know what they say? They say more than 80% of the entrepreneurs they give grants to, if they cannot find, a lot of them, they can't find them anymore. Those who they can find, when they go back to how they've used their money, they bought alcohol, they bought expensive clothes, They've bought gadgets. They literally did not pump it back into the business. It's actually less than 20% of them who use the money correctly. So these people have got the money for you. The government has the money for you. They don't ever have them make the mistake of thinking "Akunanyuku eMzansi." Inyuku ikhona. That's why I'm a politician corrupt by igawula. Ibhaya futhi. And lo nyuku leyo eyenu. So that's why even Alabama funding institutions, we're still going to bring them the ones from the government. We want them to give us information. Okay, ukuthi le nyuku enifandana ngayo sithole from nina. Mele senzeni. Sorry about that. I just had to say that because I know we're gonna have the other guys from the banks later. But what are those practical steps, that they can take to improve their chances of getting funded?
Yeah, look, so you've mentioned a few agencies and grants and things. I think what's more important is also to tap into the private sector, because you'll find that private sector has budgets to invest in entrepreneurship, in small businesses or small to medium enterprises. I think the biggest thing is also to get advice from mentors, because sometimes you might present something looking for funding, but you might have loopholes or gaps that you have not covered, and then you're wondering why you're not. So I think firstly is to get a mentor to make sure that your paperwork or your proposal is good enough to get that funding. Secondly is to approach private sectors, institutions. I'm a very big fan of LinkedIn, because there are so many opportunities on LinkedIn, people providing opportunities for funding. I mean, I was coming from an awards where we networked with so many people. And, I find entrepreneurs always asking the question, I can't find money, I can't find capital. But when I get to these platforms, people are saying, we're hungry to invest in businesses, we're hungry to invest in opportunities. So my thing is that you are your brand. But the most important thing is, how are you marketing your brand? And who are you reaching out to? Who are you networking? If you're staying in your lane and think, you know what, people will see me, or I'll talk to someone, I'll get somebody being attracted to my business. You need to go out there, knock on that door. Eventually the door's gonna open. But if you're not knocking and putting that force and pressure, where are you gonna get it? So my thing is, key point is, tap into sectors that you have not tapped into. Approach individuals that have influence in providing those opportunities and networking platforms. I mean, I've been to various summits and various conferences. People are hungry. People are looking to invest, but they said that the biggest problem with entrepreneurs and them failing is that they do not have the right guidance when it comes to putting their proposal forward, and therefore the loopholes create that frustration.
A quick one before I hand it back to Sakil. What are the most common compliance mistakes we make as small business owners or SMMEs when it comes to compliance? You spoke about the South African Reserve Bank being very big on regulation and compliance. Things that hurt us eventually financially, and our businesses don't grow because maybe we don't have the information. What are some of those common mistakes so that we avoid them?
You'll find that the common mistakes is that when it comes to regulation and regulatory bodies, not just only the Reserve Bank, is that the money and movement of money, there's a term in money laundering, they call it placement integration, or placement layering and integration. The biggest thing is that when it comes to compliance is that when you're moving money across borders, you're supposed to declare it in terms of a formal application via your bank, get approval from the Reserve Bank. Now, because entrepreneurs get excited, I'm getting this money, it's gonna boost my thing, you forget about the legal aspect about it. The biggest thing is moving money across borders without declaring it, and also not declaring funds, where it's coming from, who deposited this. Like I gave you the example earlier, people might just come and say, listen, I want to do business through your company. You're already set up and registered. Let me move this money through your company. You think, okay, it's a good idea, not knowing where's the source of that funds coming from. Where's it going to? Your business is being the vehicle. I think the biggest compliance issue is not declaring funds, not declaring the source of the funds, and also, it's like you said earlier, or like the gentleman mentioned, You're getting money, but you're going to go buy cars. You're going to go buy iPads and techs and posting it on social media. You don't think authorities are not watching you. You know, you wonder, how does the SARS find out about that money in your account or that house that you have and whatever? They're doing a lifestyle audit on you. Because why? You are flouting and flaunting instead of using that money to invest in further projects or your partner's business. You know, I think the biggest thing also with entrepreneurship, and that will be my closing point, is that when you make it in life or your business is booming, you forget about the person that you left behind in your community. You need to go back and hold that person's hand and walk forward, because true leadership is about bringing back the next person. Now that I've made it, how can I bring others up the ladder?
Yeah, I mean, the question I want to ask is, now, there's a problem. You see, there are entrepreneurs who've been hustling for years and years. They are not compliant, you see. And those entrepreneurs are scared to get compliant, though, because now they look at it as, I have 10 years not paying tax. What's going to happen now if I start filing for tax? So I'm asking, how do we convince those people to, like, guys, get compliant, this and this won't happen? What happens when there's someone who hasn't been paying taxes for 12 years decides, no, I'm going to SARS now, I want to be compliant? That person doesn't have millions. He's maybe selling oranges, or he's selling cell phone appliances.
Taxi business.
Yes, and if you say to that person, like, you owe 300,000, you see, for the past 10 years, he's gonna be like scared. So a lot of people are scared to file for tax returns because they don't know what might happen if they actually do take a step. And what the second question is, how do we now like convince them to be compliant? Because honestly, the guys are scared.
And it's a very valid point that you bring when it comes to those compliance issues. I think, firstly, when you look at taxes, there are different thresholds in which you need to report in. If your business is making so much amount of money, you need to register as a certain taxpayer because of the profit that your company is making. I think in guiding those people, you have to first look at what are they doing currently in terms of the threshold. What should they report on? What shouldn't they report on? But more so, how to encourage them to be compliant is because you need to also bring the reality to them. If you're not compliant, 1, 2, 3 is going to happen. We're going to come and seize all these assets because it is a proceed that hasn't been declared. You haven't paid your taxes. I think the biggest thing in providing the advice also is that entrepreneurs are scared because they don't have proper knowledge and advice. My biggest thing is to also, you know, when you go to SARS and they tell you that you owe this amount of money, you can negotiate with them to say, listen, I've been running my business for so long. I wasn't sure about these things here. How do we come to some sort of agreement and some sort of situation? And you'll find that they'll assign tax practitioners to you to guide you. Look at your books, look at what you've been doing and guide you. So I think the biggest thing is this, is that the longer you sweep it under the carpet gets higher. And eventually one day you're going to trip over that carpet. What am I saying is that the longer you leave the non-compliance, the more chances of your business dying and failing is higher. Being compliant is also showing example to others around you. Because it doesn't mean because everybody is doing it that it's right. You can be that standing out example of being compliant. And why are they not? People will ask the question, why are they not? They're always attacking me. They're not attacking your business. They're not doing lifestyle audits or calling. SARS is not calling to say, listen, we want to do an audit on this business and so forth. It's because you're compliant. You have to have that transparency with institutions, because once there's a question mark, you are on the radar.
Gerald Mariamoto, before we wrap it up, your last words and how do we get to interact with you or yourself or South African Reserve Bank, and how can we familiarize ourselves with some of the great work that you guys are doing at the Reserve Bank?
So look, the Reserve Bank has a website. It's www.resbank, resbank.co.za. There's loads of information there. They're also on LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Myself, I'm not really on the socials. I'm more on LinkedIn and WhatsApp, but you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Gerald Marimuthu, CFE. And I think the biggest thing is that engage with us. People always see the Reserve Bank as this big brother. Ooh, we can't approach them. But we are transparent. Approach us. We can guide you on assistance. If I can't assist you, there are other departments in the bank that I can link you up with that may assist you and guide you and give you that further information.
A quick one before you go. Is it true that the Reserve Bank is not owned locally? How true is that?
So the Reserve Bank is there is shareholders within the Reserve Bank, so it's partly owned by government and the rest is shareholders. But when you talk about shareholders, it is a non-profit generating share. So even though you buy a share within the Reserve Bank, and if the Reserve Bank makes profit and whatever, the maximum dividend you'll get is equivalent to the share that you purchase. So it's a non-profit generating share.
Okay, makes sense. Gerald Mariamoto from South African Reserve Bank. Thank you, bro. Coming up next is an individual who works with an organization. We interviewed them, I think, a month ago. We said with Masisizane Fund. Familiarize yourselves with Masisizane Fund. Masisizane Fund works together with Old Mutual. It's basically a baby of Old Mutual. They've been funding businesses for about 18 years. So we decided to invite her here as well. And let's hear what opportunities are there at Old Mutual / Masisizane Fund. How do they help entrepreneurs? And what goodies does she have for all of us in the room? Please welcome, guys, on stage, Usis Nolitando Bobani from Old Mutual, Masisizane. Ninjani Sis Nolitando.
Ngiyaphila ninjani?
Sibonga umusa wakho nesikhathi sakho.
Thank you.
Here they are, there are 100 in the room. Ungabanceda kanjani?
Yeah, I think the
Sifuna imali.
Abantu bafuna imali, exactly. But also, we also have to understand what you were speaking about earlier. How do you corporatize the entity so that you can get the funding? And more than getting the funding, how can you get the growth opportunities? Because it's more than funding, right? So you have funding, then there's opportunities where people can actually buy into your business through equity, where in that instance, you're not paying back the person on a monthly basis, but they've bought into your dream. So I'm from Old Mutual. We have a division that specializes with assisting SMEs, and we work quite closely with Masisizane from a funding perspective, but we also have a digital channel called SME Go that helps businesses run their business. So you as a business owner don't have to worry about what does my invoice look like? What does my statement look like? How do I enable payments? How do I collect payments? So we have almost call it a end-to-end solution where the business owner can just do what they do best, which is make sales. Yeah.
So,
in the meantime, while Sakil is coming in there or to ask you a question, I don't know if it's a comment, maybe we can start getting the mic to be ready. So the next questions will be coming from you guys. You can ask Usis Nolitando questions. By the way, she's from Masisizane Fund and Old Mutual. She's sitting here on behalf of both entities today, but she works more on the Old Mutual side. But yeah, they're obviously, Masisizane Fund is a part of them.
so what does, for a small business owner, what does Masisizane Fund and Old Mutual do for me? And what are the requirements from my side? What documents do I need in order to obtain funding from you guys?
Thank you for that question, Sakil. And I think it goes back to what you were speaking about earlier. I'll touch on that with regards to non-compliance and entities or business owners not or being afraid of the SARS, or being afraid of paying taxes, etc., etc. So Masisizane offers funding in 2 tranches. So there's 2 categories. There's developmental financing, and then there's commercial financing. Developmental financing is for your smaller type of business owners. So you've been in operation for less than 3 years. And then there's commercial funding, which is provided to business owners that have been in operation for more than 3 years. So to tackle the question around what are the requirements? So firstly, it has to be a registered entity. So it's very important for business owners to register your entity. You can call it whatever you want. I think CIPC charges between 125 to 175 to register your company. So you have to have a registered entity, firstly. And the other thing is you would have to obviously provide your bank statements. And the thing that we see the most with business owners is that there's call it a conflation of bank statements, where your own expenses as a personal business owner are also going off on the business account. So it's quite important for us to separate ourselves. Look at the company as its own juristic person. So it's a separate entity altogether, and try as far as possible to have expenses that are business related on the business expense. Pay yourself a salary if you have to, but also ensure that when you are providing those bank statements to the financial institutions, it also shows that you make revenue, and that revenue is not necessarily withdrawn every time it's received. So there has to be a sequence of events that happens. You get the revenue, it stays in your account for a couple of weeks or a couple of days or a couple of months. You pay yourself a salary. You're showing that you're a trustworthy person. So it'll be your registered entity. You've got your bank statements, and some of the painful processes also include a business plan. And I think it's quite an important thing for business owners to do, because it sets out what your strategic objective for the business is. And it ensures that as a funder, I understand what you do, and I play a role in ensuring that you can grow that idea or what you've been doing for a longer term. So a business plan is very important. What are your sales targets? How have you engaged certain customers? What are your growth targets? What have you actually done as well? Because Masisizane would be within the ambit of what we call a developmental finance investment. So it's a DFI. So they want to know, what does the business do? Because after you get the funding, they're still involved in the business. They provide what they call post-investment operations.
So they hold you by the hand, they walk with you.
Hold you by the hand, and they
So
hold
bavele
you-
bakunika imali bakuyekele.
Exactly.
Bakunika bese bakunceda
Exactly.
ukukhulisa le business. Okay.
Exactly, because the objective here is for you, if you have Ikota Ezola, you want to have a branch or you want to have a franchise, and they want to enable that. And you as a business owner, through the business plan, can actually have that target to say, I don't need to have just one shop. I can have 10, I can have franchises. I can actually make this a legally viable operation. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna come to you guys. Maybe the first question, who's got the mic? Who's got the mic? Sonia, please assist me, or Rorisang. There was the mic that we used when we started. Maybe can that be the roving mic? And can the camera guys be ready to also capture the people that are asking questions, so that now at a later stage, when we get to upload the episode, at least you can be able to see yourself. Okay, by the show of hands, who's got a question? First question? Okay, so Kalada show. All right. The first question is over there. Camera, please grab him. Yeah. Uzishone kama nene kama le company yako or ilona ihasile yako kuthini?
Good day, guys. My name is Leshona Nkhola. The name of the business that I run, it's the African Stitch Pty Ltd. So my question is to you, Sis Noltando. It's the Masisizane Fund. Do you have to use a business canvas, or you only need just a strictly business plan now? Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what a business canvas is.
Sorry, according to your understanding, we could understand in the business canvas.
A canvas model, it's a summary of the whole business plan, from your revenue to your marketing, to your customer demographics, to your financials, and also your channels. So I was hoping, because sometimes the business plan, you might take it to the person to read it, but when actually you can present the business more better than the person that's going to read it.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying I'm asking.
By the way, guys, while you're at it, when you're asking the question, plug your business. Share with when your business like quickly.
Business lami, I'm into corporate fashion and also branding and photography. Thank you.
Nice one. Ngenza ngabo bombi kenzela ukuthi nani imele nibonane ukuthi oh untanga uchuna in untanga uchuna in so that ekugcineni nani niyakhona ukulandana ni click ni network yabo. So we also want this opportunity to this platform to provide you guys that opportunity ukuthi ni network amongst yourselves. Sorry.
I think, thank you for that question, great question. What you've just described is what we want, actually. So whether it's a business canvas or a business plan, the words can be interchangeable. But we need to understand, what does your business do? And you need to sell your business. In actual fact, you also need to show what has the business done from a concrete perspective. So it would be both, essentially.
And then I need to have been running my business for how long?
So it depends. So are you applying for developmental or commercial? So if it's developmental, less than 3 years, it's fine. Are you making revenues? Are you a profit-making entity? What are you doing? Also, the other important thing is, what industry are you in? Because there's certain industries, obviously, from a corporate perspective, that Masisi Zana cannot fund.
I would
So
assume maybe those would be the sin
the
industry,
sin
right?
industries. So sin industries are things that most funders can't touch. So
Meaning you don't fund alcohol. You don't fund gambling.
Gambling.
And while talking about gambling, so I also hear we were talking about bank statements earlier. Let's say I'm doing everything right. I'm paying myself a salary once a month. I don't use the business account for things that are not related to the business. I'm running it accordingly. All the expenses it's about things that are about the business. I keep my receipts. I've even gotten maybe an accountant who assists me once in a while. But what if once in a while I get into that app, man, Betway or Hollywood Bets or something? Ngiyabona ukuthi amane ngawina la bese mhlambe ngiregister nge-account ye-company, or let's say nge-account yami personally. You're talking about the sin industry. Is it considered a sin industry as well? And does it disadvantage an entrepreneur if they're into gambling quietly on their phone by themselves, but not knowing, some of them forget, what later it will show on your bank statements?
Exactly. And it's such an important point, Lou, because as we said earlier, it's a trust business, right? So I need to trust you as an individual. And how I know to trust you, because I don't know you as a person, is from the documentation that you've presented to me. So if I see gambling, even if it's once or twice, then there's a certain level of, oof, if I give this person funding, will they gamble with it? So now you've already put yourself in a disadvantaged position just because of, I think the others are like R2.50, because of the R2.50.
Even if it's R2.50?
Even if it's because it speaks to the behavior. And that's
and
something,
ethics,
and ethics, and that's something that you can't quantify. So it would be very, very important to not have any of those things showing in your personal, as far as possible, even in your personal capacity, and also in your business capacity. So yes, we do look at those things. Are you gambling? The other thing that would put business owners in actually a good light is, are you paying the things that are very hard to pay? So are you paying your insurance? Because that's a very hard thing to pay, because it speaks to extra capital, extra cash that you have in the business to protect it, So are you paying your insurance on time? Are you paying medical aid if you have medical aid? Are you paying things that you don't have to pay but are good things to pay, and things that go towards protecting the business?
Next question. In the meantime, while waiting for the next question, you guys fund up to how much?
So it depends. I think for developmental finance, it goes up to 10 million. And then there's certain tranches as well. So if you're looking for funding that is greater than 10 million, then it would be a longer process, obviously, because it's a far greater type of due diligence that we would have to do on the business. And I think those go up to about 50.
Okay.
Yeah, 50 bar.
Nice. Maybe we can go to the back. Smartest dressed gentleman in the house.
Thank you, sir. I take that as a compliment.
Sure.
It really made my day. Really, truly, put this Buddha. It's an honor and a privilege to have this particular conversation with you.
Hola.
And to esteemed guests around here. Sis Nolitanda, I just want to reiterate what you said just right now, that you spoke about paying medical aid. Paying medical aid, other nitty-gritties within your financial capacity. Remember one thing about us as Black people, not that I'm despising them, right? But when we start off in a business, right, we try to embezzle certain funds. We don't think of those particular bases as well. And I think it's very quite imperative that within this particular society that we need to be taught these particular mechanisms. Like starting off within a business as well, you know, we need to be taught the right things, the right ideals. Because for me, right, as Okatlego, I decided just to start a financial consortium with a couple of group of my fellow Commodores, right? So what we do is that we try to educate young people about how to invest. I think that's particularly in society, we need to know how to utilize our finances very quite amicably, right? You find a young fellow coming from an institution, from varsity, yes, he has the financial, he has the academic mechanisms, but to invest in how to utilize his finances or her finances, it becomes very quite disheartening and distorting. So what we do is we help, not only we help as well, but we provide the right financial necessities and schemes on how to put money. Because, I'll just want to reiterate that to you, since you're a maverick in this particular field. You start a business first. Come from varsity, fresh from varsity, start a business, or you go into employment. And what do you do when you go into employment? You have your first check, but you don't know how to utilize it. You just embezzle it just like that. So I think that in a society like this one, since you started this particular initiative with others, I think it's very one pillar that we need to have those particular ideas and how to utilize our finances very quite amicably. If you look at the stats right now, people that are going to financial distortion as we speak right now are people that come from respected professional spaces. We respect that you're a professional or not, but we don't have that particular mechanism on how to utilize our finances. You look in Arab, look at Jews, look at Arabs as well. From the interface, mid-age phase schooling capacities, they teach their children how to utilize their finances. They build businesses for them so that finance becomes a mechanism that's entrenched within them. My most favorite book that I truly designed, and I think it was a present that was given to me while I was in high school, was Rich Dad and Poor Dad. It explains those particular mechanisms and how to understand liability, stock, and equity, because let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. So I think that it's very quite vital that we go to basics. So with our schemes, that's what we do. So since I'm here, I was truly asking that how do you finance such a scheme? Like we trying to do that and able to rotate money within us, like the spider diagram that Jews do. So I think that for us as well, I think I need to introduce it to Black people, because Black people don't encounter such knowledge, you know, such not only knowledge as well, but such schemes. So I think it's a question and it's a comment as well.
Yes, I think it's a good question, Katlego. I think what you're describing with your partners is a service model that says we will teach you how it's financial education in a sense, right? And my question back to you is, how do you make money off of it? Right? Because then you have to answer the question of, are you a non-profit making entity, or would you like to position yourself as a profit-making entity? And those two answers then give you different pathways. You know, there's certain funding that's reserved for NPOs or even NPCs, and there's funding that's reserved for entities that are profit-making. And you would have like grant funding opportunities if that's the space that you're in. And then you'd also have other types of funding. It would also be something that would, in some instances, look at a more equity type of investment from what I'm understanding from you. So those are the various opportunities or various mechanisms that would be at your disposal. But it would rest on those two objectives.
Let me understand you well. Are you saying you guys have got at Old Mutual / Masisizane Fund an option of equity funding as well?
Yes.
So
partial
where you guys are open to maybe owning a certain part or minority stake in my business, so you guys can become my business partner.
Yes, Masisizane has that. They call it quasi-equity, but there has to be a clear route to exit.
Okay.
So there has to be
From the beginning.
Yes, there has to be a joint agreement from both parties that says, at this point, this business will be fully owned by Masisizane. or fully owned by OML.
Are you guys open to, in the beginning, when you get into that contract, where you guys assist me and you guys also get in that minority shareholdership as Masisizane / Old Mutual? But at a certain state, when this business is profitable, let's say year 7,
Yeah.
are we able to get it into a contract? Are you guys open to that, where I buy you guys out?
I think that's the nature of business, right?
Yeah.
It's a negotiation. And I think that's why from the onset, there's always that, call it a call option that the entity can then exercise that says there's an optionality on the side of Old Mutual, since we are the ones that are providing the funding, to say, or the financing option, to say that we can then exercise that call option and we can own your entity. Or if there are synergistic developments within the business, then I do believe there would be a room to have the conversation to say, if we were not to exercise our option, how do you then enable a very responsible decrease in the shareholding while not interrupting business operations?
Okay, but Sakil?
Okay. There's a question that you didn't answer, Ekaleni. In terms of the requirements, is compliance one of the requirements?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Compliance is very important. And compliance, I want to say, is the backbone of a business, because it speaks to trust. Do you pay your taxes? Do you have a tax clearance certificate? You know, and the thing about compliance is that although it is quite daunting and it feels like a very grudge type of payment, it is necessary to unlock growth for the business. Because when you have your compliances in check and you knock on the door of a Masisizane or an Old Mutual and you're wanting funding, and sometimes you're not even wanting funding, you want to be part of the Enterprise Supply Development Program. Those requirements will need to be met in order for you to form part of that consortium. So compliance is extremely important.
So it's a registered business.
It's a registered business.
Yes.
If you are in a position to pay VAT, you are VAT registered as well. You paying your taxes on time. You have audited financial statements. If you don't have audited financial statements, it's not a train smash, but you would then have either management accounts or some set of financial statements that the entity can see that you are actually, firstly, liquid, and secondly, profitable.
And then what is the last requirement?
The last requirement would be
Business
like,
plan, right?
yes, yeah,
So it's the registered business.
yes,
Audited financial statements. You need to be compliant.
yeah,
Management accounts
management accounts.
or financial statements?
Management account, financial statement, and the fifth one is a business plan.
Business plan, yeah.
Yes,
And
so
then
we can understand the
where do I
business.
submit these documents? Like if I want to do it now,
Yes.
where do I submit the documents?
So as we said earlier, we work with Masisizane. So what you do is you'll go onto the website, go onto smego.co.za, you enter your details, you put in your registered business entity's name. Someone will call you and say, would you like funding? If you do, yes. And then you'll input 3-month bank statement, all the documents that we've provided, and then we will actually say, what type of funder is most suitable for this business? So obviously there's certain parameters that Masisizane does not necessarily fund. So Masisizane is completely Black owned. So it's female owned, Black owned, peri-urban, rural. There's those types of requirements specifically for Masisizane, where other funders don't have that. So if you fall within any of those categories, then we can say we'll match you up with that particular funder.
All right. And then you send the documents. And then what is the waiting period?
Yes.
Good question. Turnaround time, yeah.
What's the turnaround time? So I think that's the thing, right? With business owners, you want the answer today because you need the money today, and I'll answer that one separately. But we endeavor to give you an answer. We call it the quickest time to yes by at least 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I think if you can provide the documents that we need, we call you if we need additional documents. We will, we work with the business owner because we understand the frustration of you need to pay salaries sometimes. Like a big contract didn't come through, you need to pay salaries, you need to pay on the 25th. So we need to give you assurance and an answer, whether it's a yes or a no, in the quickest possible time.
Last question for Sis Nolutando. In the meantime, while they're raising their hands, can you decline a business and then maybe they go do their homework to go fix whatever they were declined for?
Exactly.
And if you do decline them, do you let them know why you declined them? And after they go fix that, are you open to them coming to repitch again? And have you had such instances where at a later stage, when they do come back, maybe for the second or maybe third time, you fund them?
Yes, I think that's a beautiful question, Sbu. Yes, we do. And it's very important for, you can't drive blind as a business owner. So if we do provide you with a decline, we give you a reason for that decline. It could be a credit score, it could be liquidity, it could be the documentation, it could be that gambling that we saw there, you know. We'll package it obviously in a way that is responsible so that we don't dishearten you, but we would give you the reasons why we've declined your application, and we provide those reasons to the customers. And you can then have an opportunity to go back, do your homework, have that waiting period where you're fixing up the administration, you're fixing up the compliance if it's a compliance issue, and then you're welcome to come back to Old Mutual, reapply again, and then we can then assess that application, see what the changes have been, and hopefully they'd be in approval.
A quick one once again. I know you said you don't fund the sin industries.
Yeah.
What is another industry don't you guys fund? Do you guys fund the property industry? Do you guys fund the mining industry? What other industries don't you fund?
Yes, I guess from call it a precautionary sector, if there's businesses that do business with certain public entities that are falling on hard times, previously this was Eskom, now it's not. There was also Transnet was going through a hard time at some point as well. Then there would be obviously some caution, because if you have a contract with that public entity and we then provide you with funding, if there is an instance where they can't pay you, then you can't pay us. So there's those types of sensitivities as well. But I think those two entities have now gone through a turnaround strategy, so there are loosened requirements as it relates to that.
Another quick one. So, guys, but I'm asking on behalf of all of us. Another quick one. Let's say I'm not necessarily looking for funding, but I'm looking for bridging finance. Because I'm a tenderer, you're a tenderpreneur. Sometimes the government in half and to send this span. Saying it totally contract or tender saying it totally, or maybe it's not even government, it's a private company, maybe it's a SARB.
Do or pay the business operations with that 250,000, and you pay interest only on the amount that you've used. So now you just need this bridging facility. You've paid everything, the financing comes through, you pay back that overdraft, but it's still there for your utilization. It's just an option or a bridge for hard times. So that's the one option. The other one is purchase order financing. So you've got that purchase order. There is a letter of intent from the counterparty. You just need the financing to enable the contract to be fulfilled. That's something that we can also provide from that perspective. And then there's also invoice discounting. So invoice discounting says someone has already made the purchase. You're just waiting for the money to hit your bank. So you've already fulfilled the order. So you come to us, you give us that invoice, obviously because we're giving it to you prior to the person who purchased from you, providing with the finance, there would be a fee for that. And then you can just provide, you can get the liquidity immediately.
Nice one. Last question for Sis Moltando. Okay, let's go over there.
Sanbonani, Sakil, Tasbuda. Sis Nolutando. So I would like to speak on behalf of a young person running a business, Ekasi, who started from nothing, building the business up. Yeah, well, so I currently run a bakery called Daily Bread. So we produce bread. We mainly produce bread because we want to become the next your Albany Blue Ribbon. So I started a company by renting out equipment and a property to run it. I didn't have money to pay those things, but I said, this is what I want to do. And I borrowed money around, and 2 years later, we now own 3 bakeries. And, yeah. Still no funding, no funds. My first bakery was bought by NYDA. This is gonna go live, but I didn't qualify at the time. But I said, you know what, I need this thing. They were offering us money for stock, and I said, no, I need equipment because I'm currently renting, and it's really breaking me down, and I got it. And then later on, we managed to buy our second equipment, and then later on, I bought a friend to invest so that we can buy our daily equipment. But if you ask me now for our financials, I cannot provide them because what we are running at right now is I'm trying to pay off like Ikoloto Zakdala coming through, and also the business is facing so many challenges. Ekasi, we are operating in Bramfisher or Lanasetopsenville. We have load shedding. We don't have a delivery vehicle. So we are facing so many challenges that, stop us from complying. And running my business alone, I am sure I'm speaking for everyone here. What we are focused on is selling. In terms of paperwork, we really want to do it, but I don't think we have enough time to execute those type of tasks. So to put also Gerald and yourself, Sis Noltando, I was maybe suggesting that maybe we can do such workshops, Ekasi, that speak about compliance, that speak about helping us comply. Money is Ekasi, I'm sure we're gonna attend, just like we are here today, because we know our businesses are gonna benefit. So I was just raising the gold part to show, okay, we also won a competition. Standard Bank, they gave us money to buy stock. We were also featured on a newspaper. So I believe that is also a proof to say our business is investable. But I believe that institutions like yourself, maybe you do not really take us through the journey. We end up relying on private investors or people that we know to invest, and they don't know much about investing. Umuntu ufaka imali bese uyahlala ukuthi hayi it's gonna generate money kanti next we still gonna grow. So I was saying maybe as myself, I know what I need right now is a delivery. I'm speaking about my pain points right now. We need a delivery vehicle in order to go around and deliver our bread and reach more clients, but we don't have the funds to do that. So if someone like myself who needs let's say 50,000 to buy a baki, would as Sis Nolutando and All Mutual and also Masisi's and the funds, would you guys maybe have that, to say, okay, now we understand you don't have this and this, but we can see the growth within your business, that you guys are an investable business. Can you maybe be able to assist such a business? That's my question.
Okay, that's can I ask a question back? So currently, how do you know how your business is doing? Like, how do you know you're making a profit? Do you use a system that provides your daily sales? What is your flour cost? All the raw materials, etc., etc.
So what the funny part is that on paper the business should be making profit. But reality is we are not, after purchasing, because we never had enough funds to say we're gonna stock in bulk. We always trying to purchase on a daily basis. And that also costs the business, but that's the reality of it. But we do have a system whereby we record everything that, okay, today our sales are like this, our expenses are like this, and then maybe our profit, and this is the truth. We bake around 200 loaves a day, but you'll find out that when we check our daily profits, we're sitting at 32 rands, you understand? And then you cannot go and bank that 22 rand, 32, because 24 rand is for tax, and then you're gonna be depositing 10 rands. They say you must still do it, but honestly speaking, in reality, it's a challenge for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think first step from what I'm hearing from you, there would obviously need to be a journey, right? So what I was thinking as you were speaking, and that's why I asked the question around what's the business operations tool that you use to track your daily sales, etc., is because the digital platform that we spoke about earlier has that functionality. So you can put in what your daily sales are, you can put in what your profit is, it calculates everything for you, and it gives you a mini income statement that will show you what is your expenses, what are your incomes, what's your profit. And then it also goes as far as saying, what is your balance sheet? So that's your first step, right? In terms of corporatizing your entity. And then you're in the platform, right? You go in, and then you also get to understand what are the things that you can do in the business that can also save you costs, you know? So that's something that you can think about also. And then the other opportunities that we have on the platform is we also run competitions. So there was a competition that we did a couple of months ago, which was a pitch-a-thon. So all the subscribers on the platform, they pitch, and we provided them with funding there's no repayment. It's completely up to the business to actually scale. So there's those opportunities that would be available to you. And there's an opportunity right now as well with regards to asset finance. So when you go onto the platform, although you'll be paying a subscription, but that subscription enables you to legitimize your business, and it also unlocks opportunities where you don't have to look for something that'll give you an extra expense, but you can get opportunities where it would be more grant funding. So yes, in short, there is those opportunities. And once you've grown, there would be asset finance that's available to you so that you can buy that back. You can buy the big cooking bakery thing that you guys use and all the equipment that you need. It's just a matter of understanding where the business is and ensuring that it grows.
I'm glad that he asked that question because he asked on behalf of everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, for the sake of time, we're going to have to let Noltando go and move into our next funders, which is Access Bank. But before we go to Access Bank, the platform that you're talking about that can assist him to track the sales, to check the profitability, to check if he's making mistakes with the losses or all of that stuff. How do you get into that system? Where is it? And then after that, your last words to our entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so it's called SME Go. So you can Google smego.co.za and
SME Go.
SME Go.
.co.za.
And then there's a basic period. You know, you can go onto the platform, you can use it for free for a certain time period. If you like it, if it's working for your business, then you can subscribe. There's different plans that are available to business owners, starting from 99 Rand up to 599. So that's something that you guys can look into. And obviously each plan unlocks certain types of features. And then maybe, parting words would be that entrepreneurs are very, very important to our ecosystem. I love entrepreneurs very much. I am very, very intentional about supporting business owners because we understand that you guys make the employment. You guys enable Old Mutual to exist, you know, because if Old Mutual sells insurance for employers, then you guys actually enable that functionality for us. So we try as much as possible and are always committed to ensuring that SMEs, business owners, whatever it is called, it thrives in South Africa, and it ensures that there's increased employment, both in the traditional sense and also in the conventional sense. So
while Mr. Clive Pillay from Access Bank is getting ready, I can see there's a lady there on Pegagab with Sbuda. Nyazo tikati skati spelile mara Sbuda. Nyaxolisa siswa ngicela umbuze ke. Okay.
Molweni, protocol observed. Igama ngibabalo Sigcawu, ngisuke emampondweni elisikisiki, but ngihlala apha eGoli. I'm running an NPO at Every Boy Child Matters, whereby we are creating a space for a boy child to be vulnerable, to cry, to be okay even mentally. Why did you do that, Babalwa? I was raped. Okay, I'm a rape child. I was raped. I decided to dig more on a mental health for men. So what I'm doing, ndisuka kulaa ndawo ine-hotspot kakhulu elisikisiki whereby 18 people were killed. So andinayo imali sisi ndifuna ukuba honest nawe uyayiva le nto nditshoyo ndihlale eGoli so as loo nto i-awareness and i-reviews ne-interviews most of the time zenze Eastern Cape because it's a hotspot i-GBV ikwilevel inqanaba ngaphaya. So now I wanted to ask you because ndiyabona nobhuti Sibongapha naye undijongile so
Okay,
ndifuna
ngizofika
uqonda
leso.
so ndifuna uqonda bana sisi ikhona na i-funding engayifumana as NPO. We are three ladies who's running this NPO. So now I just want to know about Old Mutual can help us. Okay, we have a mentorship because what I've noticed, it has been in my spirit that we are investing a lot on women and girl child, but we have neglected so much boys, men, and the staff. So now I am trying to create a space, but sana lam imali ayikho. Yayiva le nto nditshoyo. And ke ngoku I've done a lot of awareness on rate committee rate where I come from. Probably nalapha Joe's like there and there, but askaka ubungacela i-bank statement sethu kumhlophe mntazakazi because sikhuphe emapokethini uyayibona. So ngoku ndifuna uyazi mani bana ikhona into engasinceda ngayo i-compliance less right sisharp yonke into ikhona but ke ngoku ikhona into eningasinceda ngayo sikwazi ukwenza as mentorship andijonganga kakhulu e-Eastern Cape but i-headquarters zayo obvious sisemampondweni but ke ngoku izogcwala because that's a scarce part industry akho mntu uinvestayo in a boy child but at the end of the day sinamajele agcwele amadoda ayazibulala. There's a lot of pressures on top of them, but I come to change the situation. So ndifuna to go back to the basic and dig more about a boy child.
Good question. Thank you. Very good question. So does the Masisizane Fund help or fund NPOs? If not, does All Mutual fund NPOs? If not, is there a product or a certain product that is there or some other institutions that you might be related to that have got products that sort of assist non-profit organizations?
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Ansambon, Sisi. Thank you. And I'm so sorry you went through that. I'm very, very sorry. And thank you so much for creating a space for men, because I guess, I mean, we all live in the world together. So there shouldn't be a part of a gender that is neglected and then cries out in different ways. So thank you for the work that you do. From an Old Mutual perspective, it would be very difficult for me to answer if there would be funding or no funding. But what I can say is there are pockets in the business that actually work. It's called the Old Mutual Foundation, and they work with nonprofit organizations. If someone from Old Mutual or an employee of Old Mutual sponsors your entity, then they can actually get into, almost call it a competition within the organization where that charity or that NPO can get funding. And it wouldn't be funding in the traditional sense of you paying an interest expense at the end of the month, but it would be grant funding that would be allocated to that particular initiative. So that's something that might be available to yourself. So we can connect after this and then we can talk more about it.
From Masisizane Fund and Old Mutual. Thank you. Siyabonga. Coming up next on stage from Access Bank, we've got Mr. Clive Pillay. In the meantime, he's walking on stage with Sakila.
Yeah, I want to share some info. I was worried because we see that we are facing a crisis here, a high unemployment rate. So I'm suggesting that we should now, instead of going to the traditional university, we should acquire more skills. So there's things that I've identified along my journey. They are very helpful to people who are youth. The first one will be a locksmith. Locksmith does pay. To make a key, to program a key, good locksmith is like 5,000. Person will pay you for 5,000 minimum. up to 20,000 just to make a key. And you attend, there is a school called the School of Locksmith or the School of Locksmithing, I think it's in Sandton. You can go and learn about how to become a locksmith there.
In a new writing.
A lot.
Serious?
Even with the small keys, yeah,
Yeah.
you have make money. But when you start programming, as you advance, you are programming. That's where you make a lot of money.
Actually, not in any because a couple of times so good champasi, ukhiyelegile, umpelele uthola ukuthi mhlawumbe umvusalele. Uthi no online here it says good you guys charge 750,000. No, my man. I'm sleeping not at this time. Umuntu agcina charge about 1,000 or 1.5 just ukuthi avuke azwakala azokuvulela ngabo ma 3 ekseni. So it does have money. Now, sorry, continue.
Yes. And then moving on, there's CCV installation or security systems installation. That does have a lot of money. You even install boom gates, you install CCTV, you install fences, electric fences in the farms. So I think you can also go for that course. There's a school called Satrix or something. And then there's the other thing that makes money that people are not looking into, installing air conditioner and refrigerators. Some fridge, gas, no, install air conditioners. A lot of houses don't have air conditioners till today. But for you to get an air conditioner at a wholesale price, you need to be licensed. So you need to go do the course for installing air conditioners. You install those air conditioners in most of the homes. It might work out and become a career for you. And then there's UFuel Academy. UFuel, what they do is they give you a license to be a wholesaler of petrol and diesel. So basically you supply a petrol station with petrol and diesel. And when you advance, you are able to export fuel to countries like Zimbabwe, Botswana, and other neighboring countries. I remember at some point when I was in Zimbabwe, the whole country will run out of fuel. So there are gaps there within Africa where you can just step into the market and be an exporter of fuel. Fuel is in demand. And then there's smaller courses you can do, like there's a school called Human Resource Capital, where you can go learn how to repair cell phone, be registered, and you repair my cell phones. Cell phones, they break every day. You can import the parts maybe from China, import the screens, import everything.
I know.
Yes.
Anganenzela mistake khona into azange ngiyifatele koptu wena Sakil so ukudisturb. Yathi sibuda lalela njoba ngibona ngispana ispana. I won't say good bokuyi MTN shop or Vodacom shop, but one of the two. Bekaspana ngasimove ukulungisa amafoni. Bokuye bekangilungisela ifoni technician. Ngagcina ngi-exchange naye ama number bekalungisa ifoni yami. Athi sibuda there's something ngifunelele ngicela nje ama number akho hide ukudisrespect. Just nje ama number akho angeke ngihluphe. Wangibhelela later on Grootman njoba ngibona ngiyavaya la MTN or Vodacom. I won't say which one. Wathi ngizokuthumela i-ride engiyiqalayo ngithole nendawo le konje yini le mall le lapha ngase Glen Vista. The Glen. Ngithole indawo lapha ngase the Glen bayongicharge imali engaka nayi rental riding for the next 12 months. Angeke ngibe nabanye ama employees. I'll be the only one. It's a small spot rent I do. Mina obviously I'll be running the business myself. I will not need much. So business plan bekangafuni nyuke pound I think bekafuna about 250,000. I don't know why. I don't know if I had it at the time. Maybe I did not have it. But to cut the long story short, to complement what you're saying is that at a later stage, I bumped into the guy and he had grown, by the way. His business was doing well. He was flying. He was in a couple of malls now, employing other people. He had taught them the skill. He was now a millionaire. This is maybe hardly 2 or 3 years later, not even a long time. But he was then I started telling him cop too. And I felt bad. Or mklaming him link and abang assist. Wangbonisa mandambas. My cell phone repairs. Lay green lays of is screen buzz of 7,000. What to your card, my friend, about my friend, but I know I'm going to learn 4,000. And we try and tell you one. Every day.
Yeah. So those are some of the courses you are just to push instead of going the traditional way of university. These short courses can get you somewhere and they can help you to have an income like within 3 months, within 4 months. Yeah.
Mr. Clive Pillay from Access Bank. Morning, sir.
Yeah, morning. Thank you, everyone. Firstly, I'd just like to introduce myself, and then I think I would then change the approach of it. So I'm Clive Pillay, head of SME sales for Access Bank SA, and I would like to ask you all a question. Does everyone know who is Access Bank? No. You don't? I'm very disappointed.
I do. Oh, he does. Oh, he also does. They also do at the back.
At the back. Okay, let me give you all a small introduction of Access Bank. So Access Bank, South Africa, is part of an international bank, and we are based in the African continent. So we are based in 16 countries in Africa. We have points of presence in the UK, points of presence in Dubai, points of presence in France, Hong Kong, China, and lately acquired in Mauritius. So that's who Access Bank is. I'm just going to give you all a small background, and I would let you all know exactly what we are about. So our vision as Access Bank is to be the world's most respected African bank. So we are here for you all, and we are here for ourselves. So with regards to product offerings that we have, and I think it's especially for SMEs, so we stand out from your normal 5 commercial banks that we currently have here in SA. So the products that we do offer is we are a differentiator from your other banks, whereby we specialize with SMEs. So we focus on SMEs that currently are banking for a year, unlike the other conventional banks, where you need to be banking for up to 3 years. So when I say we focus on businesses that's running for a year, we are here to assist with firstly your normal transactional banking. We're here for risk assets, which I think everyone that's out here and all SMEs are looking for funding. So that's what we are here to focus on. So we also have a big approach when it comes to trade finance, which is export and import. And we literally specialize with your standby letter of credits and your normal letter of credits. So that's our key focus here in SA. And that's what we're here to do.
You fund up to how much?
So we can fund up, so just to give you some, it's unlimited. So when I say unlimited, we have as Access Bank PLC, we have a balance sheet that's sitting at $600 million US.
So you do fund big projects?
We do fund big projects.
So if I'm looking for 100 million for a mining project, can you talk to me?
Okay, yes, yeah, we'll definitely be able to look at that. However, we do have exclusions when it comes to mining.
What are the exclusions?
It's coal. So we don't deal with mining, anything that's dealing with coal. From a mining perspective or transportation of coal, we don't do that.
So when it comes to minerals, only coal. What about gold, manganese, chrome, ferrochrome, and the others?
All of that we look into.
Why not coal though?
It's just something where the business is not focused on. I think because of the market, you have a lot of people that's trading in coal. And I think from an SA perspective that we deal with coal whereby we export our good quality coal and we're not focused on importing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the key things that we don't focus on.
Earlier on, the lady that we had, Sis Nolitando, did say, Masisizane fund and Old Mutual, they don't fund the sin industries. Do you fund sin industries?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to start their own alcohol brand here, no whiskey, no brandy, no beer, no alcohol, no sin industry, no cigarettes, no vaping, none of that.
I'll get into that. So there's no tobacco. From an alcohol perspective, it's only craft beer. So we don't specialize in your hard liquor. We don't specialize in your normal brands, which is like your Castle and stuff like that. So we don't fund those type of things, or we don't bank those type of businesses.
Okay.
So you are an African bank. So do you invest in other African countries? Like if you have projects in other African countries?
That's correct. So we're an international bank, and like I made mention earlier, we have a pan-African approach. So whereby we would assist with funding at other countries. So that's what we specialize in.
So what are your basic requirements if someone wants funding? And how do you apply for that funding? Do you go to a website? So do you guys have an app like the lady or?
Yeah, so we do have your digital banking platforms, which is called Access More, which is an app.
What is it called?
Access More.
Access More is an access and then MORE.
Yes, correct.
Or is it the more like more fire?
Nah.
Oh, Access More.
It's MORE, yes.
Okay. .com or .co.za?
.com.
.com. Check it out, guys.
Check it out,
Accessmore.com. Check it out. And how does it work? Is it user friendly as well?
It's user friendly. You get real-time payments. I mean, you can do a real-time payment at 5 in the morning. So it'd be unlike the other banks that you have to wait for normal trading time to start in order for your real-time payment to be processed. So yeah, that's one of the digital platforms that we have. And then we have 3 relationship suites. So we're based at the Da Vinci Hotel here in Sandton City. We've got points of presence in KZN, and we have points of presence in Cape Town.
Questions, guys?
Let me get to Sakil's question around what documentation is required in order for us to do funding. So you can have audited financials or normal compiled financials, a registered business. So it has to be a registered business. You have to be tax compliant, VAT registered if you are VAT registered. And then the other stuff that we would require is then your cash flow projections, your debtors creditors list, your PSA, A&L, which is your personal statement of asset and liabilities. And that would then give us a good perspective of what your business does and how we can then fund you.
Okay, maybe I saw a question there at the back, the brother with the tie and the white shirt. Can we have him on camera, please? Where's our camera team? Let's have him on camera so Abu Mamngane can see him. Sure.
Sanbonan?
Hola.
Yeah, my name is Lakim Tetwa. I'm a representative of High Horse Entertainment. And as a brand name, I'm God Diablo, and I just dropped an album. You can check it out on all digital platforms with Dende Bear. It's titled Banaba Badim. And as someone who's in the entertainment business, and I understand that most institutions don't fund the sin industry. So my question is based on what other institutions fund the sin industry, since my entity is registered, my credit score is growing, and my banking statements are in good form, and I'm ready to receive funding, and I've been hosting events for a while. So now, which other institutions which other institutions facilitate businesses in the sin industry that I can look into, since Access Bank doesn't do that?
I wouldn't say right now, but what I can say is, or question that I might ask is the entertainment industry or the creative arts considered a sin industry? According to my understanding, no. I don't know.
No, it's not.
So you do fund the creative arts?
Yes, we do.
Oh, there's your guy.
I've got Tumisang that's there at the door that will be able to chat to you after this.
So he's got a team member. Can the team member raise his hand? So there he is, and so you guys can speak to him. By the way, guys, when they get off stage, it's fine. You can engage them off. And John was no time, but she hasn't left yet. I think I just saw her somewhere here. She's been hanging around for some of you guys who might still have questions for her. So Ningaba attend up behind the scenes, my email address, or ask them other questions we did not cover here on stage. Next question. Sure. So don't forget to plug your business as well. No?
Yes, sir. Good day, everyone.
Hola.
This is Fanny Muledi from SSF Sports and Marketing. I am a professional soccer freestyler with an experience of about 2 decades. And I started from the dusty streets of Sharpeville, just a young boy, passionate about education, but not interested on sitting in front of a desk, but wanting to play. So one day I was doing matric, and then I went to my mom and said, "Mom, can I please come and help you at your," it was just after my exams, "May I please come and help you at your workplace?" Because I thought I had an advantage because She was working in a kitchen at one of the renowned hospitals, and I loved cooking. My mom just looked at me and say, Fanny, Tsamo bapala." Since that day, I've been playing even today. Fanny, go and play. Since that day, I've been playing today. I'm talking to you right now, Mr. Play and everyone. I am one of the characters in a PlayStation and Xbox as a character, alongside Messi and Ronaldinho. I have performed in one of the first events by DJ's Boo, Five-a-Sides at Discovery. So what I love, the first question that you asked, does anyone know Access? And minority of us did not raise our hands. So now let me tell you a good story about SSF Sports, Mr. Pillay. We are passionate on helping the kids to understand that they should embrace playing. But moreover, our brothers and sisters who are aspects in the streets of teaching the kids to become the best talent and be on the big televisions. When you watch TV, over 95% of the people playing there, they are from the streets, who are playing in the PSL and also who are representing Bafana Bafana. However, our brothers and sisters back at home, they still live from hand to mouth. They got nothing to show off. I'm talking about the coaches. I'm talking about the people who help these young men and women to become the best athletes. And sport is one of the best, biggest industry in the world. We can go back to COVID. We were all watching sports on TV and most of us not working because the industry was closed. Now, how can we help and assist Access for you to go to the real SMMEs? With SSF Sports, we've grown from having one branch in Midrand, and now we have over 9 branches, and we across Gauteng and outside Gauteng in the Free State and also in Durban. So with us, we don't just talk sports. I call myself a sports entrepreneur looking at the gaps. So I would love to extend my wish to help you, your organization, your company, to carry the likes of the gentleman right here and to carry everyone in this house to say, how about we go and knock together with the funding that you have exemplary model of business within our towns, within our townships in order to introduce Access Bank, because you say you are passionate for Africa, you stand for Africa, and South Africa is on top of the chain. And then the second part is this. We as young Black entrepreneurs as well, to help them to realize that each and everything that we do back at home, it's actually job experience. If I were to submit my CV today, of which I want to submit a proposal to say, DJ's Boo, our first speaker just mentioned the gentleman from SARS, sorry, I forgot his name. He just mentioned
from Reserve Bank.
Sorry, yes, from Reserve Bank. So yes, from Reserve Bank. He just mentioned that what do we do when we become successful from back home, take back home. With SSF Sports, we believe that we can design a great concept of business to say, DJ's Boo, let's go back to Tembisa. Use SSF Sports as your expert to assist in ensuring that you have a reputable sports organization. Moreover, looking at soccer academy, where we can help the kids in Tembisa, because the very same kids, they call our offices in Midrand, they want to bring their kids there, but they cannot. So with More Fire as one of the organizations that can come in on board and then help the kids from Tembisa, because we want DJ's Boo to focus on the bigger ball while we're focusing down there. So I believe that each and everyone in this house, you can benefit from us and when we can benefit from you. So in terms of SMMEs, everyone is ready. I believe it's just a matter of taking your time and also going back to all the speakers that we're standing in front here to say, how do you educate us? How do you make us become what you wish to do? So I think that's the most investment that you can do in order to assist everyone in this house, because believe you me, everyone in this house, they have what it takes. We love our country. We want to do best. That's why we are seated in here and we are not investing in other things out here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. what he had to say, maybe some contributions from your side. And for the sake of time, guys, maybe in the meantime, do plan your questions so that when you do get the mic, at least you don't spend a very long time. Because if each and every one of us does that, then the time it becomes, and it's a Friday, Friday, spins so because the ring is serious, so one it's take advantage of that opportunity to rock first question, rock second question straight to the point. Because laban labas riding, ban peteling you, ban fanda. So ngicela nani nibe ready ukuthi nifuna ukubabuza ini ezirelevant ezizonceda fanda.
So yeah, I'll just add on to that question of yours that you asked. So at Access Bank, we have a personal relationship. So there's no business that's big or small, or there's no proposal that we would not look at. So that's the quality that we have on our side. And we have people that's out there ready to engage with you and to visit your business premises. So we would definitely come out, sit and listen to you and see what can we do and how can we structure a lending program for you or a facility for you. So that's one of the key objectives that we have.
Tina, from the Mofa side, let's have a chat off air. And then Siringa, because Tina obviously he bases it to lezo it is music, events, and the girl child. Put Sakil.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, maybe one more question for Mr. Pile. Oh yeah, there is. Okay, before we come to you, sorry, put Sakil.
What I want to ask Mina now is, so since everyone here needs funding, do you guys also offer the guidance in terms of what we should do if we need funding? Like the other lady said, if you apply via the app, they tell you which document is wrong, which document you should bring back. Do you guys have such a system? Because what I know from my experience, the banks are too strict. Like when it comes to entrepreneurs, they're too strict. We've been banking with FNB for decades now. They don't even offer an overdraft of 10,000.
No, they do. Well,
They don't.
Okay.
They don't.
I guess it depends also the behavioral patterns on how you manage your accounts.
FNB is very strict. I think it's the strictest. Even Capitec is a bit better. So are you guys also like the other banks, or you are just like more lenient?
Okay, so we are not like the other banks. That's one thing that we stand out. Yes.
So you're entrepreneur friendly.
That's what we are. So we have a product that's in place, which none of the other banks have. So we offer a cash flow lending facility up to 2.5 million rand that's unsecured.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's where we differentiate from the rest of the other banks.
All right.
Okay, and then to add on to the earlier question that you made mention, we do have a knowledge hub that's there to support and guide entrepreneurs. But I think the personal touch that we have with our relationship managers and our SME bankers, it's where we have face-to-face discussions and for you to know that we are out there for you. So it's not something that whereby you would go on and you'll do an application online and then no one responds to you.
So I can just go to your office?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so somebody raising their hand, show. All up, wait. Just open the mic and rock on.
Testing, 1, 2.
Hola.
Sunny Banani.
Hola, po, ngicela ungayibambi ngathi uyarap, ungayibambeli la. Ibambele la, sure.
Okay. Hi
Ungayibambi
guys.
ngathi uyarap, ya kanjalo, sure. Sure.
Okay, good morning guys. Good morning. I go by the name of Isakapadia, Kamela Muntato Mbakiazwa, formally. And me and my friend have a creative production where we started documenting and creating our own ads because we found that we don't get the roles that we need because of we've joined agencies and we feel like we do not get like that recognition. So we've started like a company called Vukubi Creatives where we go around creating relatable ads, creative reality shows, story-based around the lives of, right now we are focused on Res. We focused on Res Live. We focused on just day-to-day youthful experiences because of we feel like ads are necessarily not talking to us when we go on social media. Every time you see an ad pop up, you literally feels like an ad. So we've created like stories to tell people. So our need is literally like, because we come together like half of the time, which is like sitting at investment buyer, because right now we're just using our phones to shoot, which is a very great way, but sometimes transport can be a problem. We're not like a company that needs like a lot of money, but as long as we have equipment to shoot, cameras, lighting, and at least money to actually accommodate the people and book places for us to shoot. Because literally, like, content is everything. And I feel like I can't say this to banks because I sometimes feel like banks can't take content creators seriously. But since now we're taxed and declared a business, I feel like it's a great way to also put myself out there and also my friends as well. Because we've also recently opened a business account called Vugibi Medias because of we've seen that everything is just going west when it comes to paying taxes, managing our finances as creatives. So we want to know that would you be able, as a company, as like Access Bank, would you be able to invest in content creators? Thank you.
Well done, bro. And have you guys registered yourselves as a business?
Yes, we did.
And then how long have you guys been operating for?
It's been long, but like
How long is long?
Long has been like since January.
Okay,
It
so
was
6
more
months,
of like a
9 months.
collaboration. Yeah, it was more of like a collaboration until like we've established like we actually want to create reality shows. We actually want to create ads, and we just, it's like, okay, since people and content creators are getting taxed, why don't we just register ourselves as a business once? Because we never know what's going to happen.
Well done for registering yourself as a business. And guys, remember, I'm a bank. There's not that thing of emotions. Hey, we are young black. What do we are? Data. So data. So that's why you must register yourself as a business. And job is not time to be earlier on. Same time. Same time. So all those little things, but check out my behavioral patterns. No good now I check out my statements. Hollywood bets. So all those things advantage. And then bese kuba yithi complain ngabo ukuthi abasikhanyi labantu nani thina behind. That's why we are here fanda ukuthi sizwe grand izinto kumele sizitune nezinto tsela ungarawathona ready so that rebe ready for the funding. So it's good you've registered yourselves as a business and you've just started. So you're about to, that January you guys will be 12 months old, ne? January, February, you'll be 12 months old, which is good. But do you also use that business money to cover everything? You just pay for anything? Or maybe let me ask it this way. Is there anything that you learned from Mrs. Nolutando's presentation when she was here, as far as running your business account is concerned?
So since we've been researching about like how to actually monetize ourselves as a business, we've had to actually split the finances.
Okay, so you've had to split the finance. Sorry, it might give a audience to YouTube, sure.
So since we've like established the fact that we're a business, so we had to split our finances. So now every time we have to shoot content, we have a list of all of the things we need to shoot, all of the events to go to, and all of the camera equipment we would need in order for us to actually achieve our goals, right? Because like it wouldn't make sense for us to actually use our personal finances, even though we know that, okay, I might have money to go to that place. It's not good for us to not just leave it in our personal account, but just to also register it as part of the business. Because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to be able to make it at the shoot, but as long as we have the people that we have, we can still register them and be like, okay, this is how much people that came today. This is how much this is how much we spent on food. This is how much we spent on clothing if we needed costumes for that particular day. Because it doesn't help as a creator to like take all of your finances and all of your expenses. And yes, you might be getting money from the brand. It's coming into your personal account, but you need to split the money because now the brand looks at it and it's going to be like, okay, that's your money. It's not the business's money.
How does the business make money?
How does the business make money? Through brand collaboration.
Okay.
So since there's platforms like Humans, Brand Advisory, Webfluencer,
and many others, yeah.
And many others, and also just detail emailing, we're able to like talk to brands and establish, okay, this is what we do. But most of the time, we don't even necessarily talk to brands because we feel like sometimes brands don't want to actually like hear you out. They want to actually see the work.
The work, I get you.
Yeah, so we'd post like branded content, but not put like collaboration, paid partnership.
I hear you.
Just for them to show, Lalela, we can't do X, Y, and Z for you guys. But if you guys only allow us to work with you and give us creative freedom, because sometimes brands have that tendency of infringing a lot of their brief, because we are UGC
I hear you.
creatives.
I hear you, yeah.
We are UGC because UGC is much more bendable, it's much more foldable. And sometimes it's like, okay, we understand the brief, but sometimes we need to talk to the human. Bama 150,000.
So they're looking for, let's say, around 200,000. How does a young entrepreneur like them, or a group of young entrepreneurs like them who are looking for, let's say, 250,000, 250,000, how do they get funding if they've just started in January, 9-10 months ago? And even if they can't get the money now, how do they put themselves in a position where maybe, let's say, 6 months from today or 12 months from today, they can come to either Access Bank or any other platform and get funding? Specifically right now with you guys, young entrepreneurs like them looking for 250,000, been in operation for about 10 months, what do they have to do?
Okay, so firstly, you're almost there. You've got 2 months to go to get the year's financial statements. So the guiding and supporting and financial literacies, that's where we are, is to mentor you, to let you know, yes, you may not get that funding now, but this is what you need to do in order for you to get there. However, we have a second solution that we'll be able to assist. So by your conversation that you've just shared, is that there's funds that's going into your personal bank account, and then there's funds that's going into your business. So we do have products that will allow us to lend to you on your personal capacity as well. So that's where we can, it's again, the financial literacy that allows us to engage, to understand what you're doing, and where we can support you both from a personal capacity as well as a business capacity. So we are always open to listen to you. Firstly, listen and understand, know what you're doing, and then the support is then provided by us so that we can assist you and guide you. If we cannot give you the funding like what Spo has said now, but we will then let you know as to when we can assist you and what you need to do in order for you to get that funding.
Interesting what you're saying, that you also saying you can fund individuals in their personal capacity. Maybe expand a little bit on that, because what we know, Tina, is that I can use my pay slip. If I've been working for a minimum of 3 months, I can take 3 months banking statements. Easy for me to get financing for a car. But for me to sort of get financing that you're talking about, and maybe even that financing, how much are we looking at here? And in what basis do you fund an individual, not a business?
Okay, so the product that I'm talking about is a personal loan facility.
Okay.
Okay. And that we can do up to 350,000 rands.
Okay.
Which is over a term of 60 months. And that will then help you to run that business as well. So we're not saying that even though you're self-employed and you don't have the financials, but if you've got a personal bank account and those funds are going into that account, we can then offer you a personal loan facility.
Lovely. And that is brilliant. And I'm glad you do assist. What I wanted to say was, it's a missing sometimes. I wanted to ask the repayments and also your rates, because sometimes people become very expensive, man. Like, and I'm not talking about the banks. Sonke siyazi abomashonisa badura kanjani. Phela abomashonisa bangakcharge up to about 30%, ndoda. Siyazi kahle ngoba abanye baphethe ama-ID wabazali bethu, you know. How are your rates looking like? Aren't you guys expensive?
So we are not expensive. So your rate is basically generated as per your risk adverse. So we will do a full look at your credit scoring, look at your track record, and that's how an interest rate is generated.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's anything that you're looking at from prime plus up to prime plus 6, prime plus 7. So we are very competitive. If you look at other banks with or your other lending platforms, interest rates can go up to 28%. So we are very competitive, and again, it's based on your credit scoring, it's based on how long you've been banking, and that will determine the interest rate that we would offer.
Are there some sort of benefits if I'm banking with you guys?
Yes. So if you're banking with us, we do have a personal track record, and that then stands you a better possibility of getting a lower interest rate.
No, thank you. Maybe I'll hand it over to Sakil, but what I want to reiterate, he said it twice, Nosis Nolutando did say it earlier. And I'm as an entrepreneur, I'm from there. I mean, I'm also from my judgments. I'm from Boma ITC. I'm from being blacklisted. It's a painful journey to go through if you don't guard your credit score. For some of you guys who are young, who still have a good credit score, I would like to repeat this: guard your credit score with your life, because you can actually use that credit score to create generational wealth. So it's extremely important for you to guard your credit score so you don't have judgments, you don't end up on the credit bureau, or you end up getting blacklisted, because it's going to hinder your life. It's going to slow you down. Izokubhayizisa ngamanye amagama. Ngicela i-credit score yakho uyigade. Noma ngabe urhalela ukubhaya something bathi bhaye nge-account ubone ukuthi izoqhama kwezinye inyanga, rather not take that risk because it will affect the credit score yakho. So once again, guys, guard your credit score with your life, especially the young guys.
I want to ask something. What is the purpose of funding? There's a guy who stood up there. He said he's struggling his business is struggling because he can't buy items in bulk, right? So now that's a struggling business with cash flow problems. So do banks or funders fund businesses that are performing well in terms of the financials, or they can fund a business that has liquidity problems at that time? After me having explained that, no, I'm having liquidity issues because I cannot order as much stock as possible because of my cash flow crisis. So yeah, the business is operating, but at a loss. And because I have cash flow issues, do you come in and rescue my business, or you want my business to be like making money and then you're gonna find a business that is already performing and making good profits? What is the purpose of looking at the financial statements? When you're looking at my financial statements, what are you looking for exactly?
Okay, so the first thing that we look at is businesses to be liquid and solvent. That's your first criteria. Your second criteria is that there needs to be serviceability. So when we say serviceability, you need to be generating a profit that's going to assist you to repay the loan that you're requiring. There's no bank that's going to lend you funds if there's no serviceability.
All right. So now, do you think with all this information we are gathering today, so does it mean that since most of us, we struggle with funding, is it because someone once said in I went to another podcast, someone said South Africans are not employable and what, and then there was a rage, you see. So are we not, is it the problem that, is it because we don't have enough funders since we are struggling, or we are just not fundable? The problem is us, it's not the funders.
So the problem is not you as an entrepreneur, and the problem is not you as a funder. Again, it's financial literacy. And I think that's the key critical thing that we need to understand is, yes, we can wake up today and have a brilliant idea, but do we want to back that idea? Do we understand how to be an entrepreneur? I think that's the question that we need to ask ourselves. It's not that no one wants to fund us and no one wants to back us. There's people out there, there's banks out there, there's credit companies that's out there that will be able to assist and guide you. It's how passionate you are in order for you to be successful. Like you made mention, Sakil, I think I heard your story quite clearly. Is you was passionate and you wanted to make money. And I think being an entrepreneur is having an idea, standing by your idea, and making sure that you will be able to be successful one day. And I think that's the key critical thing. There's people out there to stand by you, to guide and support.
So my last question is, you look at the stories of your Jeff Bezos, you look at the story of your Jack Ma's. Those guys, they kept the businesses running for years without making profits, and they kept—
including Netflix as well.
Yes, and they kept getting funds. They were running straight losses. So you guys, this is why I'm asking you guys, do you find a business, like if you see this business, there's a vision, but financially it's not doing well?
So yes, like I made mention, we would have a look and see where the business is. And again, understand why there's a loss. So if we understand why there is a loss, we would be then able to, we will then be able to look at what can we improve in this business in order for us to fund.
Last question for Mr. Pillay. A lady, sister. Oh, I said, plus upete ne mic. Shang first man.
Good day, everyone. I go by the name of Donald Makafula from Elbow Joint Group. So,
Sorry, what's the name of your company?
Elbow Joint Group.
Oh, Elbow Joint Group. What do you guys do?
We manufacture garments and also we are in the cosmetics industry. So
Nice, nice.
As we took our products to SABS, they are busy testing now. So
Nice.
my question it's quite simple. I want to ask about you said you're funding the international project. So I'm incubated with DTIC for the next skin gen for exporters. So looking at the compliance that you guys were mentioning earlier on, if I want to apply for funding for international project, are you guys looking at the compliance of South African compliance or international compliance? Because I believe there are two different things when it comes to compliance of South Africa and other compliance outside. So what is the process that I need to take to be funded by you guys internationally? So do you look at the compliance of that other side, or you look for the compliance of the South African-based companies?
So you'll have to comply with the South African regulations as well as the country that you basically want to trade with.
Okay. No,
so it works both ways, yes.
Thank you so much.
That was quick. Maybe another one. Quickly, we can squeeze it in. Sure. Mazaza, yellow bone. Mic. Sure.
Sorry, can we take one more? There's a question online.
Okay, cool.
Greetings, guys.
Greetings.
I am the Cocky Stylist, and I run a manufacturing and clothing business called Cocky Original. So,
sorry, what is it called?
Cocky Original.
Cocky is in C-O...
C-O-C-K-Y. Cocky.
C-O-C-K-Y. Oh, okay.
Original.
Nice.
Nandi. So my question is more educational for everyone that's here. You know, Mr. Pillay, I just want to ask Oguti, how severe, right? And how severe is it for people, entrepreneurs, to get funding, right? And squander that funding? What are the consequences of that? I want you to tell the people so that people are not just excited to get the funding, but people know the implications of squandering that business money that you get from the bank or from a private investor. Thank you.
Very good point, my brother. Very good point. That was nice.
Yeah, so let's start off with being flashy. I think that's the first thing. I think once we have money in our pockets, we go out to spend. That money does not belong to you. It belongs to your business. And if you spend that money, you would then have a business that's no longer functioning. And then walking back again in the street and trying to see where you can get to. I think that's the main thing that we need to be focusing on, is don't spend the business money on your personal self.
Consequences?
Consequences is the business is going to close.
And maybe
and then there's no one that's going to be there to support you.
Yeah. So let me share my experiences. We opened an online station in 2016 called Massive Metro. Some of you guys might be familiar with it. And sadly, unfortunately, we're not getting clients anymore around COVID-19 lockdowns. And we didn't know how long lockdowns were going to be for. And we kept on scaling down with our staff complement and our expenses. But COVID-19 in that 2020 year ended up becoming longer, and our expenses were becoming too much. And unfortunately, sometimes you end up having to make those difficult decisions to cut your losses and close down the business, which is what we had to do. And we had been operating since 2016. We had gotten the funding from a company called Business Partners. You guys know them, né? They fund entrepreneurs. And one of the consequences, to answer your question, is that till today, us as the shareholders or the directors of that business, we're still servicing that loan. Because at some point, it sort of, showed a pattern of doing well and potential growth. And unfortunately, around COVID, we got shut down. But you got shut down or you COVID, me never understand. No, and us as the directors, 20 meters till today, the director every month. So that's why I was saying he's asking a very good question. because entrepreneurs, we need to know to not only be excited about getting the funding, we also need to know the consequences of our business failing or things not going well or whatever might happen. And isn't as vibrant. You are at a debt. If it was not a grant from an institution that gives you a grant and it does not expect their money back, trust me, most institutions want their money back. So the consequences are that you are in debt. And maybe one more thing that I would like to ask as far as credit score is concerned. Does credit scoring affect one of the directors if there are other directors in a business that is doing well and it can be funded, but maybe one of the directors doesn't have good credit score, let's say they are blacklisted, does that disadvantage you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So the number of directors that's listed on that business all needs to have a good credit scoring. It needs to be clear. No arrears or late payments. Let's say late payments is called arrears. There's no adverses. There's no judgments on your name. And that goes the same for the business entity as well. There need not be no judgments on that entity, no adverses or no late payments.
Last words for 100 entrepreneurs here.
Last words is, yes, believe in yourself and always believe that there's people out there to support you, to guide you, to motivate you, and believe in your dream.
From Access Bank, Mr. Clive Pillay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. You can engage him offline for those that are looking to ask other questions that we might not have covered here on stage, or you're probably trying to get in touch with his details. Coming up next on stage, before I give it to Sakil, in the meantime, while our next guest is walking towards the stage, he represents Merchant Capital. Merchant Capital also, they fund. Oh, by the way, I think there is a question online. Oh, just
yeah. So I just want to get, I think Sakil, this is more for you. Her name is Zenith Africa. She runs a company called Ubuhle Reusable Sanitary Pads. Yeah? So she didn't ask this question, but I just want to ask, like with regards to a company like that. Yeah? So she sells sanitary pads, which are reusable. Now I'm aware that if you go to a Clicks, there's always there, and they thrive in like perishables, it's like toilet paper. So a lady will use it and then they're gonna come back. She's now doing forever toilet paper, basically. Yeah. So should someone like that, even running a business in 2025, even think of approaching like a big corporate like that has like major competition? Okay, or is there any other alternative that she can maybe look for?
What I would say is when it comes to these big corporations, there's so much politics involved. So she might struggle a little bit because we've been approaching, it's very difficult to get your products through the shelves. And she has like a new invention. So I think she can go the route of selling the products, finding other ways of distributing the products besides the long route she wants to take into going into the stores and competing with companies like Abo Always, because I think they can block her. So it's best that she tries and find distribution channels and use these funders that we have over here. Try and communicate with the funders, try use her own distribution channels for now. And maybe even target the smaller stores, Avocation Carry, Pakistanis, and just to get the products into the market for now, for the time being, until she grows a business and she's able to negotiate with the big fishes. But starting there might be a problem for now.
Ladies and gents, welcome on stage, representing Merchant Capital, Budreji Rasese. Who is, oh sorry, go ahead. Who is Merchant Capital, and how do you help entrepreneurs like us in this room?
Okay, thanks a lot. Just to start in the beginning, I think my hair says a lot. Merchant Capital, it's a business that it's a funding by the entrepreneurs for the entrepreneurs. Now, just to give you a little bit background, I've had some very good questions on the floor that already been like, so we already there, we went there. So as Merchant Capital, we look at businesses that are South Africanly owned, whether you are registered as a CIPC or you're using your own business account. We got our sole props. Do you remember those? We didn't have any registrations. Now, with as Merchant Capital, we wanted to make a simple funding. We call it access to funding. Now, as a business person, myself, working for representing Merchant Capital today, I'm from humble beginnings. Way back in 2016, I formed a company called Rasasa Education Solutions. By then, we didn't have any access to funding. I mean, we had big banks. We look at big banks, we knock on doors, and it was doing well. We used to sell software, we used to sell a computer, we go to Limpopo. The business was doing well, but we needed more funds. Knocking on doors. I mean, I was banking with one of the big banks. Now, one of the most problematic thing that we found out is that by then, you're banking with this big bank, you go to them and says, you know what, I want a simple thing that I can go around with, a speed point. And you have to jump hoops. Now, because you are a black person, they don't trust you, they can't give you this device. I'm talking about 2006. All right. Now you walk around this big bank, you're banking with them, they can't give you a simple thing, a speed point. Now, by that, you're losing business. Now, as an entrepreneur, I thought that, you know what, this is a problem. In 2014, we formed another, I sold that company and I made good money. I invested that money to something else. I'm still talking about as an entrepreneur. 2014, we formulated another company where we brought in speed points. I'm happy to say today, I was the first guy who walked in a township and had a speed point in a township at home. First of all, I went to any business called Yagata Voi at home, and he was banking with one of the big banks. And I had this one health speed point. I says, Tavoy, here's a speed point. The director that I was working with by then, I had 16 speed points on a Friday. And he said, oh, you're taking this to a township. And he says to the CFO, write off the speed points because that's the last time we saw them. On a Monday, 16 speed points. On a Monday, when they opened, they had a system called Splunk. From Katlehong alone, on a Monday, that speed points that were delivered on Friday, on a Monday, we swiped over about 4 million. Over about 4 million. So we went back now I said to him, do we still write them off? Then we got more speed points. We bought more speed points. We rolled these things. We go to Alexander. And I was known, even today, I'm still known as a speed point guy.
So that was before Yoko and Ikoka and them.
That was before Ikoka, that was before Yoko. We are the first guys who mentioned. Now Ikoka and all these Yokos, they saw that, oh, this is happening. And started buying FNB, they started knocking into doors, into townships. And I'm telling you, even today, you can go to Alexander. When you get to Alexander and say, I've got a speed point, they say, no, this is Regis space, I used to reface my own space. So as an entrepreneur, we come with innovative ideas. Now, at that stage, I've solved two problems that I had problems. One, access to fintech, that was solved. Now, another problem that came, what do we do? Access to funding, how do we solve this? And I joined up with Merchant Capital. Merchant Capital was formulated in 2012. Now, the idea when it was formed was for entrepreneurs how to get money into the businesses. Now, when it was formed generally to look at all the retail businesses. You have a turnover, we can look into your turnover, fund you based on the turnover. All right? Now, we went back and said, now these people are swiping. What do we do with that money that we see? Now, we look at your turnover, that's coming through your speed point. Then we can fund you based on that. Now, what we're trying to do, we're trying to get our township to be moneyless, in Yogo. Now, we're trying to move away from Imali and make sure that people can bank. Now, as mentioned capital, as any other business, now, cool people is that we look at your data. The way we fund is simple, all right? You have a business that's operating, you have money that comes through your business, but let's give you an example. You have a tavern, and that tavern is making 40 million. I mean, 40 millions.
It's under a million.
I'm a million. So it makes about 4,000 to 10,000 on a weekend. Now, the mistake that we do is that we take that money, on a Monday morning, we go to a macro, we take that money, we buy cash. We bring back a full truckload of alcohol back to the business. As a funder, we can't see that money. There's no data. There's no data. Now, again, what also we do is that any business that's been operating for at least 12 months, we say at least 12 months, with a minimum, we ask for a 6 months bank statement. On those 6 months bank statement, we can make an idea and what do you call this, a decision, or how do we fund you? 6 months bank statement can give us a full picture of what's happening in the business, all right? We say, deposit your money in your account and go and buy a macro and go and buy a cash and carry, all right? That money went into your account. Whether your account is zero, but the fact that money went into your account, that means if I give you 1 million today, on a Monday or a Tuesday, I can come into your account and then I can get my money back. Now, again, I think what the problem that we also need to ask ourselves is that we're talking about funding. Now, as a business, we have two questions to ask ourselves. Number one being is, am I funder ready? And then number two will then be, what type of funding am I looking for? Now, we got two types of funding. We got funding that we'll get from Abu Sifa that we will have a grant, all right? Whether you squander that money or whatever it is, it's a government's money, it's gone. Then we then have a funding whereby we, just the name funding, I think it's wrong. Let's put it in simple terms, it's a business loan.
It's a loan, yeah.
It's a business loan. We loan you the money with the expectation that you use that money to grow your business. And if you put money into a business, it will generate funds. Now, as mentioned capital, we say, and if you look into our website even today, we got a slogan that says, here we grow. Here we grow. You know, just recently we just found our star as well. We went up and out of space, and then we went and we got, now we're shooting up the stars. We're looking for the star. Here we grow. Here we grow is a concept whereby, as a business, as mentioned capital, we grow with you. You are a business, we have a minimum, you're doing 50,000 on a monthly basis. Then we say, yes, you are now funder ready. Because we can see what's coming into your business. The minimum that we're looking for in the business is at least 50,000 on a monthly basis.
I need to be making at least, my business will at least be turning, oh, you're taking 50,000 turnover, right? Not profit.
When I say 50,000, I want to see on your bank statement 50,000 that came in.
Collectively, over the 30 days.
Over the 30
okay,
days.
I get you.
All right.
So that's your minimum requirement, number one.
That's the first minimum requirement.
Okay.
Another minimum requirement would then be that at least the business be operating for 12 months.
A minimum of, I need to have been operating for a minimum of 12 months. Okay.
With a minimum of 10 over 50,000. All right. And you don't need, with us, you don't need, as stress is a lot. You can be a sole prop, meaning a sole prop, you can be using that account number that's written Regina Assessor on top. All right. Or you can have Lulakele's PTY LTD. All right. The most fundamental part is that on all these things, it's the main thing that covers the whole thing is that you need a good score. A good score, it can be from 600 going upwards. What messes the score? That's quite
Credit
important.
score you're talking about?
Yes, credit
Okay.
score. You need to have a good score. Good score can be from 600 uga peso, no? And that's fundamental, like, or up or right. That means you have one account who one of the stores being able to as in, and then you're making sure that you pay that account regularly. One other thing that also just on scores, that is quite important, Sakil. I heard you say, no, you don't have an account. You need to have at least one account, That account opens doors. Mount account A1, wherever, what store, whether you like the store or not, but have an account that you took, in time is it was 200 rand, and then what you pay minimum of what? 15 rands a month. You make sure that you pay that. That's building up your score. Every month you pay 15 rand, that will then build up your credit. Without any account, your score will be sitting at 585, and then you ask yourself, but I don't have any score out. In South Africa, if you have too much debt, you are not good. If you have less debt, you are not good. So you must, so you need to have that. That will then build up your score. Then by doing those things, will then, when we come to us, you are already funder ready. All right. You are fundable. You are a person that's fundable. All right. It depends on what you're operating from your back door. A car, so that back room. But the most important thing is that you need to have an address where we can, when you go via, we can look for you. You need to have an account. Money must go into your business. All right. That baker needs to have a speed point. You cannot operate a business, irrespective of whatever type of business you're operating nowadays. You cannot operate that business without a speed point. Never. Whether you're doing entertainment, I mean, I saw Putilapa was dancing outside. If I wanted to give him money, I wouldn't have given him 100 rands. I could say, let's swipe. That's another form. Your business must be prepared in all avenues. Money must go into your account. And lastly, e-tax. Register because of e-tax. Guys, we are in South Africa. Now, we those things. We couldn't have a commission if we didn't pay tax. Important thing is that any business, we got tiers in business. If you're doing a certain threshold, you don't pay tax, you just declare. This year I made less than 1 million. Now they don't want your money. You just want you to say to them, this is what I made less than 1 million. That's it. You are clear from tax, you are clear for Elon. Lastly, I'm a tenders. I'm a tender. We can do tenders. All right. But as young people as you are, you are entrepreneurs right now, and I'm happy because young guys, all right, who are just walking the path where we're coming from. Don't focus on tenders.
Only.
Don't focus on tenders. Not only. Don't focus on tenders. I've got my brother Umtswali. I've got my brother Umtswali. You know? Right now, he just said on radio right now, you know what, I've got another 2 million, he's supplying some stuff, but he doesn't want to go for 10. All right? Tenders are quite a destroyer of people. I've seen people that are getting destroyed because in tender document it's about 400 rand, 500 rand. And already we know that tenders belongs to Sakil. But we all contesting for that tender. But what you can do, you can supply whoever supplying that tender. You can supply whoever supplying that tender. Right now, there's a tender that's coming out. They're looking for computers. Those guys, where they're going to buy those computers, you come in as a supply. You score for that.
Uyabona ukuthi oh khona enye ezayo bayosupply into eso wena ubayisupply. Ushuthi ngamanye amagama noma ngabe iwini wawubani Wena uzokhaya anyway,
Uzokhaya
ngoba uzoba supply.
Exactly.
Smart
exactly.
mindset, yeah.
Exactly.
Questions, guys, for Mr. Rasese. Oh, my question quickly before I hand it over to Sakil and the audience is, you guys fund up to how much?
Okay, we don't have what we call a ceiling limit. Hence, we are turnover based funding. Turnover, that means you turn over Sibona in your account. Let's say you're doing 50K. Let's just be specific. 50,000 rands, then you can qualify from 30,000 or upwards. All right. You cannot come in and say, I'm doing 50,000 rand and send for the 2 million. You won't qualify that. You qualify based on what we see on paper, and we don't have a ceiling limit. When we say we don't have a ceiling limit, that means we can qualify up to 10 million.
Okay.
But it will be what you want to, 10 million. I mean, once we go 5 million above, we start looking for, I haven't said anything about our financials, none. But once we start going above 5 million, and then we start asking our financials, our tax clearances on all those things, because now it's a big ship.
Oh, so lay 50K per month turnover, you're not necessarily looking for financials.
That's what.
Oh,
6 months bank
because
statement.
no.
6 months bank statement, ID copy. If you register with your CK document, then you put in the application today. You can go online, go mention capital right now. You can apply. Whoever calls you, tells you, oh, come on, Reggie, I want money. Money comes in. Money comes in. And we can fund you within 48 hours.
48 hours. Yo.
I want to ask, since you brought the speed points, how many business
I'm using Catero on this because that's my humble beginnings where I started.
Sure.
All right. When we looked through the data that we had, even yesterday I was just looking at the data, we got about 424 businesses that coming from Ekatle Home. We're talking about SMME. All right. Now, the good thing with this is that it's any type of business. Even I like the sin business because they're making good money.
Yeah.
So it's about
no money
about 400 plus businesses that we fund within Hustler'S, Home, Hustler'S, and Sprite View.
Yeah, Sprite View, sure.
So since you want my credit score, if I'm not paying, it's gonna affect my score also.
It does. It will. If you are paying, if you don't pay, it will affect your score. But you must remember, I mean, right now you can get a free credit report every year. Now, if you along January like us, like I'm present, so you get your credit score in January. You see the score, it's 1, 2, 3 that are putting you down. By the time you get to March, I'm thinking you'll have paid off whatever it is that you're having. The most problem with my credit score is that we don't know. We only find out when you start looking around. We don't know. You just register for free for experience. It gives you a credit score, and then you start working on that. 3 months, 4 months, you are done. Okay.
Okay, I've taken 100,000 from you. What is the interest on the loan?
You see, we don't charge interest. We charge what we call cost of capital. Cost of capital is controlled by two things. It's the amount, 100,000 rands, we're talking 100,000 rands. Your credit risk that would then control a charge. I'll give you an example. Let's say we take 20,000, and then we say to you, you paid off within 9 months. We can safely say your cost will be 20,000, then your total repayment will be 120,000. That's fixed. So interest rates goes up, goes down, it doesn't affect your repayment. And let's say we term yako is 9 months, and then you decide no, by month 3, mhlawumbe usupply to awutholanga i-10 usupply bakhafe inyuku egrandi. Then it says, Reggie, now what's happening? You are still paying 120,000. We said no, because you're paying back early. And I was saying by 9 months you have paid me 20,000. No, you pay me 5,000. And so we do what we call settlement discount.
Nice. Questions, guys? There she is. Can we get a mic, please, and a camera on
Yes.
She was quick. She's definitely a hustler.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Sure, I've got a couple of questions. Firstly, I couldn't resist coming here because one, I was running. As you can see, I'm wearing my running clothes. I didn't have time to go home and get ready and all that. But there were just a couple of things that are too awesome to miss this kind of session. One, DJ Swoo, he's a disruptor. I like people like that. Come on, give it up for DJ Swoo. Right? So anytime he brings something of this nature together, you know it's going to be good because he's broken all the rules and still made it. That's the kind of person you want to be around, proximity-wise, right? Just in terms of thinking. And then, of course, give yourselves a round of applause because you guys are dreamers. And I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, yo, I'm going to be in a room of people that have dreams and vision. And you made time for your dream today. And here's the information coming through. The one thing that I'm really picking up is that there is obviously an information deficit. That's really the biggest thing with our country. The dreams are there. The energy is there, the passion is there. We've got institutions like UJ, Wits, Rhodes, you name them. But there is an information deficit as it comes to finance and how finance works, how money works. My question for Untate Reje, and I think the gentleman from Access Bank, is the issue of visibility. We don't know you, right? And when I say we, I'm just talking collectively. We know the FNB, ABSA, Capitec. So when I say visibility, I'm talking about I've got friends who are medical students, and all of them talk about how while they're doing fourth-year medicine, banks come to them as students to talk finance. How present are you in educational institutions, even TVETs? Because if we're going to talk about lending people money who are ill-informed about money, it's a self-sabotaging mechanism. You're literally preparing them to fail. So in this was DJ Swoo's initiative, and of course, this incredible space and slim and brilliant mind. They have done this for us, but how many young people are not listening to this or having access to this kind of information? So Access Bank is like they're sitting in Sandton, very exclusive. But then you say you have funding that's available for a person who's a starter, and they don't know you exist and they're intimidated. Banks are incredibly intimidating. So what are you doing to make sure that you are firstly accessible, and that young people start to familiarize themselves around financing? Because money is a big deal. And like from third year at Wits, you're just walking around and then you see Access Bank talking to you about credit. Because our parents made us feel as if credit was bad. They didn't have the education. They are nurses and teachers and doctors and whatever. But now we know, credit is your friend if you know how to use it. DJs, we said it. It's leverage for wealth building. Black people don't know that. So yeah, that's my question.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
Well, no, thanks. I love the question. Firstly, I think as we do talks like this, we realize a lot of things. One of the initiatives that we also took is that let's go to people. Now, recently, Niaz GSE, Stock Exchange. We recently partnered with JSE, and we're in this month of November. Oh, by the way, I also forgot to say Happy Movember. Movember.
Zone chair.
Yeah. And I think Father says this is a cancer awareness now.
Yeah, and it's also Entrepreneurship Week. Is it this week or next week? Next week. Next week, no?
I think next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we've done as Merchant Capital is partnering with the likes of JSE. We started last Soweto. We had a gathering where JSE had about 1,000 people coming in, and then we had a representation. I think Access Bank was also there as well. Now, starting also on the 17th, we will be in the Western Cape. 17th to the 22nd, we'll be in the Western Cape. We're doing what we call a road show. And on that road show, we'll be going to towns, starting from Cape Town, to George, educating people about what we're doing. And coming back on the week that follows, we'll be in Gauteng. We're also invited other SMME to come and join us in HSE. Then you are more than welcome to come in. We're taking that a week after. We'll be doing the very same roadshow in Limpopo, educating people about all this. Now, with regards to TVETs and Nama colleges, now we invested a lot in a medical space. Now, in the medical space where we have a special funding that we do for our doctor, where out of COVID, we learned a lot of things. Where we learned Uguti doctors, doctors were the most people that were holding this ship together. And then out of that, we formulated a product it's a medical product that's specifically made for our doctors. And then we do on vets, we do have our seminars where my graduates, and we partners, my clinics. Recently, we had our nurse that are our matrons that are moving out from the public sector now. They're opening their own clinics. We had a seminar in Limpopo. We had a seminar in Springs. We had a seminar in recently in KZN, specifically for abonnés. And what they do in these seminars is that they do similar thing what DJs will, whereby they invite other people to come. And then we had talks like this. And then by having 100 people talking to 100 people that are connected to another 100, that are connected to another 100, it eventually becomes a boom. That's what we do.
So you are doing a lot to get yourselves out there.
Out there.
No, that's incredible. That was a good question, Sisam Sebo. Yeah. Because we do need to know them. For the sake of time, I know you guys budgeted some time up until a certain time, but maybe let me go for another question. I saw you asking a question and I see you holding a paper pack. Is that your business? Okay, that's do you have a mic? Mhlambe, let's give
sorry,
it.
I have the mic.
Asomgeni the first
Sanibona.
mshaying first man.
I am
Okay,
Shaying first man.
ayize ngakuyi camera ke sale sobuza sure.
Okay, good morning or good evening, guys. Good afternoon, guys.
Awulali.
Hamba kude at this moment.
Sure.
Igama lami uSthembiso. I come from a company called Dreamscape Creatorscape Studios, whereby we are music and entertainment industry. So many question bengayo ukuthi I heard ukuthi some other institutions are not funding sin businesses like alcohol and tonton. My question, because I'm in more of a startup tech business, since I application right now, where it's mostly based on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, whereby we're using my NFTs and selling music as NFTs for utama artist was mali, because performance and royalties they don't pay. So merchant capital
yeah.
ingakwazi kungisiza or ingakwazi kungifunda as a cryptocurrency based business.
All right.
Good question.
Good question. We say we are fintech, all right, and as mentioned, capital. So we say we are tailor-made. So sometimes we need to learn. I mean, I've never met something similar to that. We're not in that space, but for sure, as a tailor-made business, each and every business are quite individual, like our fund. So sitting down with you, we'll see where are you, where are your goals, what have you done so far when as an individual. The only way to know if I can fund you or not is to sit down in a business like as an individual, assess you differently and see where you're going, where you are, time you need to walk 2 steps, 1, 2, 3, then we can guide you on that. So we have a sit down. There's one which now how do we basically fund you?
Prarech, siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho Grootman lami. Shayispan is top. Looking forward to working more with you. Isikhathi nasihlobeleza via your last words to the audience. I know ungawari ningabungena off air. Akabaleki ungawari. So nakaqeda la ungamngena off air, just won't be on camera. Sisenzela ukuthi our next speaker can come because nabo bekumele ngabe at least siqedile ngo-1 and manje sesirane over 1, but it's not like uyasliza. So nakaqeda ukuringa nakaqeda ukuchiefta stage ungamlanda umngene 99.
My last word ukuthi ungahlale khoneni, you already woke up, you already started your business. It's up to you to wake up. Even if we can say no today, tomorrow it's a yes.
Yes.
All right. And lastly, for those ones, can I give my number?
Yeah, give out your details. Nalabo babukela
Those
online.
ones, I can call there directly. I'm on 073. Oh, I forgot my number.
Ah, no, our Sbatala,
947
Sure.
1562. 073 947 1562. Or you can contact us go www.merchantcapital. And then when you are on the platform,
Sorry, merchant capital is it .com or .co.za?
.co.za.
So merchantcapital.co.za.
When you are, because you are here today, ne? And I'm going to make sure that you get approved. When you are online, wherever you speak to, if you're not speaking to me, because sometimes I'm not in the office,
Yeah.
I'm doing road shows.
Yeah.
Tell them that I was with the G, DJ Spoon. Then we'll make sure that you get it.
Sure.
All right.
No, siyabonga kakhulu brother uNkulunkulu akubusize. Once again, what is that number? 073 947
1562.
1562. Rechi Rasese from Merchant Capital. Thank you, Khulman Lam. Siyabonga. Thank you very much, Butomdala. To wrap up today's session, guys, by the way, for those who still want to ask him questions, you can speak to him off air. He's still available for all of your questions, but he won't be available for too long since this is running over time. But just for our last part of our show today, we've got a young man who's got incredible opportunities as well for young entrepreneurs like yourselves. Please welcome on stage from Rand Corp. His name is Ofetse Tabane. Danko. We had him on the radio this week, and I heard what they do in his company, and I kind of felt, even so Friday, can you avail yourself? And he was actually meant to be in Cape Town, and he decided to rearrange his schedule so that he's here. He's not meant to be here. And I told him, suspending you to win the event, so benefit my entrepreneurs. Can you now assist and contribute? And he was like, sure.
Sure, Krukman. Can we just have a little fun today since one of the last speaker? When I say Mo, you say fire. Mo. Fire. Mo. Fire. We're about to have fun today. By the way, MCing is part of what I do on the side hustle. So we've had so many corporate speakers today. I thought on my turn, let me plug the connectors. I mean, let me talk about me being a hustler and not make it too formal, not make it too corporate. So just a quick background. There's a lot of creatives here today, so I want to speak to the creatives. My background is actually creative. I used to do PR and marketing for a lot of established artists. AKA's first album was dropped by me. Actually, I had to motivate Chris Galakis.
Yeah.
Electro Mode to drop his first album. I did Tear Gas, if you still remember Tear Gas.
Yeah.
I did Pro Kids, did some marketing as well.
Yeah.
My first Air Force was bought by Pro Kid, the brown one, because he didn't like the shoes I was wearing at the office.
Yeah.
So my first hustle was to hand out flyers for KO, Tear Gas, way before Cash Time, in back in those days, when he did the first hip hop show in South Africa, which was called the Hip Hop Showdown. And he would take me from the office and say, Ntwana, you can't be here on digital marketing, wire. As fine, let's go to Pretoria, Hatfield, and you hand out flyers, I'll give you $200 a day, So the first side check that I ever received was from one of the biggest hip hop artists, KO, Ntokozo Mdluli. And I want to give props to him because he opened a valve in me so that I could actually make money outside of my salary in the office. And then I started selling albums of JR and Tear Gas albums. I'd buy them at staff price from Electromo, the record label I was working for, and I'd sell them at with a markup at their shows. So I'll attend each and every show while I'm doing the road management, carrying their albums, and I'll set up at the corner and sell the albums and make cash from there. So I was actually making commission cash, and I'm here to speak today on Commission Hustlers. I want to motivate each and every single person who's here who has interest in making side hustle, that you can actually dive into every single business, including the guys who were here earlier on from Access Bank, including everybody, including Sbu himself. And I want to say that there's 100 people here today, Sex. 100 people here, we've got 100 resellers already of More Fire. Already. That's a plug already. There's a guy who was here earlier on from Daily Bread. There's in Zig's Kitchen. Why can't we have an off-take from Zig's Kitchen and Daily Bread supplies there? The hustle is right here. It's in the building. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Sure. Yeah.
That's incredible. I'm so proud of you, Joe, and what you've achieved. What you were speaking about on the radio was so impressive to hear what Rand Corp does. What is Rencorp and what does it do? And it's great that you had to share your experiences of, starting from the bottom and being a hustler as well, because then, you relate easier and better to the rest of us, because we are hustlers and a lot of us started that way. And I've had the privilege of seeing you from the beginning, from when you started back then. At the time, I think he was your mentor. But we out here, and was doing a lot of work with the government, was supplying ESCOM, was doing incredible things. And I used to see you in Jarova, and I just started because we are broadcasting online. Now. Sure, but you were always with him. At that time, and but just to see everything you've achieved all the way to now, that's quite impressive. I'm very proud of you. Rencorp, what is it, and how can it help the people that are in this room?
So I love that story because Rencorp was developed from being around a tenderpreneur 24/7. Each and every one of us here knows someone who's doing tenders, somebody who is very successful, but they won't plug you. No tenderpreneur will plug you unless if they're going to use you, like as Gerald was saying, they'll exploit you basically to filter their monies through your accounts and say that they're empowering you. That is not empowerment. Rencorp was established by seeing that within the tender space, everyone is looking for money. No one has the capacity to implement the projects. So I started Rencorp motivated by seeing somebody who was successful but always had a problem with financial capacity to roll out his projects. So I run a commission-based business. I don't own the monies that I say we finance. So my financiers can finance up to $10 billion. But that's not my money. So by commission base, it means that I go and look for those guys with the big projects and I facilitate the financing for their projects. And then I make commission, which is the interest. It comes from the interest that my financiers make. So my first payout was I made commission from, I think it was a supply and delivery for the same guy you're talking about. He didn't have the financial capacity because he was overwhelmed with projects everywhere. And I researched where can I get capital specifically for tenders. And I made my first private financier and I facilitated that. And he said, no offense, you know what, you don't have to go into ESCOM and all these parastatals. You can actually make a living by referring these people to our company. So I think I made 100,000 Rand on my first referral. And because he had ongoing projects and his were above $1 million each, I was making 10% of every interest rate that they were making. And this was about, over 15 years ago. So this has carried me throughout all the years. And I want to empower everyone who's interested here today that you guys can come to me. I've got financiers. I don't check your credit scores, guys. No hate to the guys that were here before me. You don't check your credit scores. You don't need compliance here. You are hustler, right? All you need is a bank account. Make sure that you are not in a place whereby you're dealing with the wrong tenderpreneurs to refer to our financiers, because we will red flag you as well as a referrer. So I'm a serial referrer. That's what I like to call myself, yes.
So when you make your money of helping me to get money?
Yes.
So
I sell money.
Yeah, so if I'm looking for 100,000 rands, and then you've helped me meet people that can give me that 100,000 rands. Now I must also kaela your commission in this 100,000 rands that you've helped me to get.
How did you get that 100,000 without me? I'm the value.
Okay,
that's the thing, right?
I understand that institutions do the same. That's why we're talking about interest rates, and there's obviously they charge you. But in the what are your rates? Are you charging ridiculous commissions, or that's why simple 100 stina? Now $100 stina. How does that work? So you're even mentioning that you don't check credit scores. Isn't that risky?
Yeah, look, they're tenders, right? So the government has already done their due diligences and the compliance for you to be awarded the contract. So I don't need to now get into the compliance checking or that. It's already done. We just double check the contract if it's legit and lucrative. The credit scoring checking part, it means that we don't take people by a black flag. Now, by black flag, I mean that you owe the bank so much money that we can't finance you. That's the only thing that we check. Because now once we finance you and the money comes from the government department or parastatal into an account that owes already,
it doesn't make sense anymore. It takes that credit now. So we don't do credit checks. We only look at the viability of the contract. Now, who's the security there? It's the government itself. So we work with you as a contractor and we work with the government. We are supposed to be helping you to get your money. So we invest in you to provide for the government whatever services you're providing, whether it's infrastructure development, whether it's rail, whether it's airports, whatever it is. And then we hold the government liable to pay you back.
So the security is the TED.
It's the contract, yes.
Oh, Gonjo, you work with strictly entrepreneurs, ne?
Not only, there's guys who have bought cars that they own cash. And, they're looking for money for businesses that are not tender related. I can assist you to get money against your car and you still drive your car. We'll loan you money against your properties, up to 50% of your property value. But obviously, there's an interest rate that's charged every month until you get to pay the money back. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what I want to ask is, how do I then apply for this rent funding?
Yeah, right here. info@rentcorp.co.za.
So the only requirement is the contract.
That's it. That's it. You send the contract and the cost. Remember that there's supplier costs. You need to buy these materials from somewhere. If you're buying them from a company that manufactures, we want the quote that they send to you for that.
So the one you are talking about for my house, my car.
Yeah.
How does that one work? What is the requirement for that one?
We need the title deed if it's property, and we need your 6 months bank statement to see that you can at least afford the interest rate every month. That's it. Unsecured. So most of the people that were talking about secured finance. So I'm more the unsecured. I have no qualification, by the way, in finance. I'm not a finance guy. I've got strict qualifications. I understand how people get their work. So number one, the most important thing is that I understand the person who got the job in the first place and understand your position. So my niche market was to go into there and look at the people that don't qualify at banks for these loans. And that's why it's unsecured lending.
You're so smart, naga ringa la upra rechirasese. Ngicela ukunikaya ke sengiyanikale idea ozoyikapa mara abantu sometimes unokubanika ama idea mara bagijime ngawo nayi idea entswembene top. No putrage if you're still listening, even Mr. Clive Pillay. The YouTuber industry or the podcasting industry, or let me say the digital space is growing like crazy in the country. So the people that own YouTube platforms, and I'm looking at you guys because they are watching me, they're at the back, the guys who were here earlier. At the back of every YouTube platform, there's analytics there. Those analytics also provide how much money YouTube or Google, you guys do know that YouTube is owned by Google from Ireland. They're registered in Ireland, but they're an American company. So the analytics at the back show you how much money gets paid into this YouTuber's account. So you guys should design a product. This goes out to all the other banks that might be watching online who don't do this. It's a big market. It's niche for now, but it's growing like crazy. We can all see people are becoming YouTubers. Podcasts are blowing up left, right, and center. Go target those young people. You don't even have to go check out their bank accounts. Tell them to give you their YouTube back-end systems where you can easily, you don't even have to get 6 months banking statement. You can get their YouTube information for the past 6. It shows you from the first day they opened their YouTube platform and how much money they've been paid to date. The last money they received, they usually get paid on my 22, 23, 24 or 25 of every month. From 820, YouTubers get paid. And that's a big market and it's growing. And those people, you don't even have to doubt they're going to pay you their money because you already have the back-end information and analytics of their YouTube platform. You can see how much money they made in January, in February, in March, and how much money they made last month. And most of them, especially those who are consistent, the money sort of keeps on growing. Especially if their platforms are growing, they're consistent. Sometimes it goes viral, it gets bigger views. And not only YouTube, by the way, there's people who've now monetized their Facebook platforms. Facebook pays people every month. I mean, about Chris Excel are getting paid off Twitter as well, about X. There's people are getting paid on TikTok. So that's a huge market that banks are not, or lenders are not looking at. So I'm giving you guys that idea. So let's talk and target all those people. Sorry.
Sure.
Sure.
I also want to just say, merchant to merchant capital, I want to give you a challenge. That gentleman who spoke about doing a crypto idea of selling music into crypto is worth over $3 trillion globally. That is something that collaboratively, if we were to do something and invest in this kid and make sure that it's structured right, there's a lot of money there.
Questions, guys? We can go in. Kodwa boba nokudala bamile balobela baphakamisa banga-attenda. Sure, siqale ngontshe. Mara nami ngontshe.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Mine is it's quite simple. I've been listening, taking notes. We're still gonna do some more research. This one is specifically for you, DJs.
Sure.
Can I please put my brand over there? Just
Zogala, yenza no writing.
Thank
The coffee bengilphuza, by the way, let me plug them, guys. They're called Black Grind. It's a black-owned coffee company. Ne? They now have got 2 branches. They're opening up that second branch very soon. They're called Black Grind. Sure. Zogala, product placement. Zogala zoibeka boy. And then while you're still at it, just let us know what does your brand do, etc. I'm going to head the mic over there. Put the product here first and then go to the mic. Sure. Has it? We better not trend, you know. Sure. Sure.
So this is my sneaker brand.
Ibeke bese uye mic in. Bakuza awukhe mic in. Beki brand la etafuleni bese uyava uyokhuluma mic in sizokuzwa sure. Oh, wow. No, land the mic. Or hlala yizwa hlala yi.
I'm charging this guy 5% of his sales for marketing while I'm here. 5%.
Sure. Thank you. I was here just for this. So my day is done. So yeah, basically this is my sneaker brand. So it was launched last month. But as you can see, it's a beautiful sneaker. It's a quality, everything is fine. And then, so it was inspired by my book. My book is called Napamba, which is my family nickname. So we celebrate the family histories. I'm sure.
Sorry to disturb you. Can the camera zoom in on him while he's showing the sneaker?
Yeah, that's fine there. So it was inspired. So I first published this book in 2022. The idea was to tell the story first because I'm a journalist, I do write. And then, so after that, and then the next project was this. But the big idea here is to tell the story of celebrating our family history, because I do know that all of you here, you do have family stories. And it's a big subject that we don't give attention to. And then that's my passion. So I want to tell the story. I started with the book, now I'm here. So I just want you guys to support me. I'm selling 1 color at the moment, but I do have 4. And then the other 3 colors are not available now. So this one is available. So we are online, pamba18.co.za. So that's my brand. So please support.
Price range and platforms that we find you and your WhatsApp line if you are selling on WhatsApp as well.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, which is pamba18.co.za, so you will find the WhatsApp number there. So on social media, Facebook is Pamba Sneakers. And then so Twitter, you can find it's Quibble SA. Yeah, it's at Quibble SA, and then also Instagram. And I'm not really that active on TikTok, but I'm trying my best. So I think I've got 3 posts now. So I will definitely improve on that. So yeah, personal Facebook it's Quibble Ramanswana. So yeah, I'm there so you guys can like me. I can promise you this is quality. It's not, it's something that I started from scratch. I didn't copy from anywhere else. So if you are buying this, you're actually buying these, a good story, which I think we all need. And then you're also buying the quality as well. So the book is it's quality. You can find it from myself as well. The price is 1899. So it's, I think it's very cheap. If I was Louis Vuitton, I was going to sell it for 5,000. So because the quality, I think it deserves that. But because I'm a startup, so then I will have to go small. It's a very expensive. No, it's exactly that.
How much is the book?
So the book is 350. So this one, I don't sell it online. I sell it personally. You have to contact me. The reason why I want us to have a conversation, because when you read the book, I don't know, you don't care about my family. This is my family history from 1700 until I think I trace that story. I know it's a very, it's a subject that a lot of people don't give attention to, but if you can actually tell, most of our problems is because we got DNA problems. DJ Spoo knows a little bit about that. So that's my passion there. So the reason for me to continue with the story is to tell the story, selling the brand and selling the story as well, because I want to celebrate the family history story. And then, so as you can see, I'm Pamba. Pamba is my family nickname. And then, so we want to lead this subject. So not just about selling the story. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That is dope. Ungene late. Kumele ngabe ungene early, sibeke riding early. Sure. This is nice, bro. So Pamba is in PHAMBA, Pamba. This is beautiful, bro. Congratulations, my brother. God bless. Beautiful. Sakil.
Yeah, what I want to know, if do you offer a referral commission if someone refers maybe a client to you?
Zandimali, Sakil. Sekafuna ukwenza imali ngaye.
So earlier on, I answered that question already. I said I want everybody here today to talk to me and refer those uncles of theirs, everyone that they know who's in the space. And yes, because I'm in the referrals business, we split the commissions 50-50.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Okay, so let me get this right. The referral would be me bringing you someone who wants funding.
Yes.
I
can tell you that these guys that are here today own their own businesses. They're not tenderpreneurs. Yeah. So, but they know the tenderpreneurs. So I was talking to a gentleman at the back, and I said, I'm strictly only on tenders. So if they're looking for asset advances against their vehicles to push Pamba. So if brother has a car, a Polo, he needs 60 grand against that Polo, I can help him with that. So it's not a tender yet, but he's got an asset to push his own private sector business. So yeah, I can help with that regard. There has to be an asset attached to it.
That was a dope question, Sakil. Why were you asking that?
Don't bring those ones from Zimbabwe, Sakil. No.
Why were you asking him that?
No, because most of my life I've always been a middleman.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, I just want to say that, being a middleman is a currency.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses are built on being a middleman. So don't be shocked. Don't be let down when somebody calls you. I'm a proud middleman, and I think I want to open a company and call it the middle guy.
Guys, thank you so much. Today's been amazing. Let's get more questions from the audience before we wrap it up quickly. Let's start this side, sure. Do you have a mic this side? Oh, the mic is already over there. Okay, start, and then we're gonna go to him, and then maybe let's take 5 last ones.
Hi everyone, my name is Bandile, and I represent Mass Manufacturing. What we normally do is we assist the local designers of brand. Like for instance, you have an idea, you want to start a brand, you don't know how to manufacture it, you want to not. That's where we come in. It can be even an idea. You don't have to be a designer or know how to use a dreadle machine. Anything, like if looking at his sneakers, we can do his sneakers. Like we literally help everybody. So we're trying to make sure that you get that authenticity, because we realize that here in South Africa, most people export brands from China, then they print their logos, then they wanna you wanna make expensive money like be Louis Vuitton or not. There's no way you can get right there. I've actually worked with Adidas, me and my twin brother. We're like the face of Adidas superstars. If you can look at us properly, we've had our face all over the world. Yeah, so the real reason I actually stand up, currently we're working on an app, as I had my brother right here in the bakery. So I'm an idealist. That's what I literally emphasize about myself. I'm an idealist. So we're currently working on an app right now. It's called Move a Van. Similar to Uber, but then in these terms, we want to operate in terms of I'm a truck, I'm a van, I'm a parky. So we want, for instance, as my brother is having a problem with transportation, instant transportation, actually. We are all about instant transportation. So he wants to move Amakuzwake to certain points. He can literally go into an app and move a van. So we're still working on it and getting it on Play Store and whatnot, but it's currently already a prototype that we have already on board. So what I wanted to ask, does such a platform as yours sponsor or fund ideas like mine? Because it's a killer cell idea. I gotta be for sure. You can feel it, like move a van instantly. For instance, even if you're staying here in Joburg, like for instance, you wanna move out to Tuta, nah, you don't have to stress. Just go in the app.
Move a van.
We're doing it, understand? So yeah, thank you so much.
Move a van. Congratulations, bro. Another question, another one? Sure, in front over here.
Ngiyanibingelela igama uSuccess wakamchunu, stage name uSaxman. Ngine record label ngenza music Afro House Afro Tech.
Nice.
Also ngine sound ubhuti Sakil ecishe uyayazi sike sahlangana kaMayimayi bengidlala kaMayimayi every weekend. So uzokhumbula nje ubhuti.
Boda ngale weekend ungizwe mchuna vimbela abo somisuzi. Ngiyadlala.
Bengekho lapho ngi-enroll e-ASE, so ubhuti uSibungu ngiyambona every day e-Radio 2000 mabesebenza ekseni.
Sure.
Yes. So manje into engiyifunayo ngifuna ukubuza ubhuti ukuthi kwi-case yami since nginama-assets of which is sound, ama-CDJs, ama-subs, ama-tops, ngiyakhona uku-applyela i-funding against le sound leli for ukuthenga i-van, ngifuna ibhakhi and also ngifuna imali ye-PR ukufaka ngayi kwi-record label so that ngithole i-PR i-sponsor sithi ukureach abantu sithole i-airplay ama-spins ngibe grand.
No, those specifically vehicles and property.
Sound how busy is it? Are you booked every weekend? Ah, ndoda, une sound ama-kick phela every weekend ndoda. Mina now isanivale mic osebancinzela. Ngipayisele yona le sound.
Angizobe ngiluzile. I-problem ukuthi Soweto abafuni.
Amara ispani kuyihleli manje.
Iyaspana so manje ngizokuchazela ukuthi yini elandelayo. I-problem ukuthi sengiyekile ukwenza ama-funerals, ama-weddings, ama-baby shower because abafuna ukubhadala. Banegotiate 1,500 and manje kumele ngifake i-petrol.
That's why ngithi letha la le sound.
Into ke manje sengifuna ukuyenza ukuthi ngingene ku-YouTube njengobusho, ngirecord ama-live, ngine-camera manje ngithenge eyi-1, ngifuna ukuthenga enye esi-2, ngibe ne-camera A, camera B, ngirekhode ngilahlele ku-YouTube, ngiboost.
Ngoba nasisiringa ivara awabanili labani. Nawuphethe sound. Ngakutholela igig this weekend. Kusasa ngakutholela igig.
Ngingajabula.
Sound boy. Ucharge malini?
Kule msebenzi emncane ngicharge ama-2,000, 2.5.
Yeah, and then?
Yeah.
Egroti.
And then ngengayenza i-corporate kayi-1 ngabizwa enye i-company for my Christmas party. So ngiz-underchargeile ngibabize 3,000 bangigaya 5,000.
Why was undercharged? Why was undercharged?
Cause bengingekho educated at the time ukuthi i-charge kanjani lapha. Abantu bave bangigaya 5,000. Kwaba happy Christmas.
And then isound yakhe ingasha like mhlambe ama crowd abantu abangakanani so.
Ingaba enough for i-space esingaka.
Or like maybe
ama 18-inch amasapha ayi-2 ama-top.
Yeah, sure, ngayibhaya cash. Malini?
Ngithengise. Ngifuna yenza imali, ngifuna ingonhle.
Marihleli kuwe mas.
No, ayihlela into angifuna uyisebenzisa for izinto ezirong.
Uzongispanela, uzoyirana ngohalf every month mari njoba yami.
Kungcono invest kuyona.
No, mina ngizoyibhaya bese wona uspanela mina. Uzokuhafa every month.
Ayungikhiphe business.
Lalela. Akushintshi next. Uzoqhubeka wenze into ezayo cooperate sound nasineyipani uyayo la ushaya ispani yonke into. Mara mina futhi ngugayila msam up front. Mara say owner him and then on top of that ngiyakhafa futhi every month.
Asixoxe after shoot.
Asishaye manje live kuma camera. Ufuna malini ngizokushaya nge-EFT manje.
Manje uyangiphatheka ngcono nami ngibheke kahle.
Okay, ngizokuhlanganisa nalomuntu ke awufuna ukuthi. No, but well done, bro, for buying a sound. Guys, there's businesses like that, like a sound. You can't undercharge yourself. You do know what the going rates are out there. And also when you've got a business like a sound, you can't sit down and say, "Auna spani." Come on. Auna spani because of you. You can't blame no one. Because we all know it groove ithandwa kanjani, guys. Everyone, like for instance, bank tellers abosisa abaspane Shoprite abashayithile amajita asipana ngisho abahasi petrol wonke umuntu sekane Instagram ne TikTok khona abantu abashanga over 100,000 followers ku TikTok mara uspane egarage ngokujiva nje wonke umuntu manje ufuna content. Why afuna content? Everybody's trying to get out there, so akunamuntu ongathi uyi-videographer and akana spine kwamanye ama-weekend mele uhlala fully booked because wonke umuntu ufuna i-videography ngo-2025 2026. Same applies as sound. You can't sit back and say awuna ma-client. I was listening to Ipamba, for instance. I just heard him say he's not on TikTok. How can you not be on TikTok? How can you not be on TikTok? Not. All these other platforms he has born. Guys, which platform makes all of us the most money? TikTok, bro. Everybody's on TikTok. It doesn't favor only celebrities. TikTok favors any dope content. It doesn't matter who you are. Your business is gonna grow quick because TikTok also, it grows really quick. You can't be an entrepreneur and a hustler and you're not on TikTok. Same as him. If he was on TikTok, he would not have a sound that just sits on weekends sometimes. TikTok into hambayo, imali iku TikTok, wongu dak in South Africa kona manje, ugu TikTok. You can't be in this room and be calling yourself an entrepreneur or a hustler, but you're not on TikTok. But guys, the main one, ngo 2025, 2026, ekhula fast, abantu abayenza inyuku ngayo. Yini? I-TikTok. Usakile nje obahlelela ngimazi ne-TikTok mhlawumbe angachaza kabanzi. TikTok.
Algorithm makes dope content, you get views. It's way better than Instagram and Facebook because there you need to get followers first. But to TikTok, you can hit 1 million views with just your first video if the quality of the content is good. So the platform it's good. It's very good.
Thank you, guys. I think this has been a dope session. But offense at Tabane, your last words maybe to our audiences here.
I just want to say to all the creatives today, the greatest winner in Africa won the biggest battle yesterday against Vodacom. I just want to say to you guys, protect yourself, patent your work, protect yourself, protect your content, protect everything that you are creating.
IP.
Yes. And then I also just want to say that the world's first trillionaire also comes from South Africa. It was announced today that Elon Musk is the world's first trillionaire from South Africa. So let's keep hustling. Let's keep pushing. Don't ever give up on yourself. And most importantly, guys, success belongs to our ancestors. We inherited. Don't forget where you come from. Thank you.
How do we find you?
On social media, it's at Ofenze Tabane. My company is randcorp.co.za. I'm not giving out my number. My phone's still buzzing again.
It's okay. So Rand Corp as in a C-O-R-P, ne?
Yes.
Randcorp.co.za.
Yes.
Thank you, bro. Very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And then Ofenze Tabane, ne?
Yes.
Last words, Mr. Mkambi?
Like what you said, I would say people should invest. Like you see the guys, they don't invest in content. They don't invest in social media. I don't know whether they are shy or I don't know what's going on, but people are very slow when it comes to social media. You need to be shameless when you're running a business. I advertise my business. Yes, you need to be shameless. I advertise my business 5 times a day through 4 multiple different platforms, 4 different adverts every day, 365 days a year. So I don't care whether people like my posts. Some people, they advertise their business once and they don't get likes and like, okay, I'm not getting likes. I think the entrepreneurs of today, they're not strong like us. See, now we used to go door to door and the guy would say you food tech.
Yeah.
Another guy would say you are in cartel.
Yeah.
So in this day and age, it's easy for us to post. Not getting a like is nothing to me.
Yeah.
You see. So push content. If you are pushing sound, if you are pushing your sneaker should be all over the place. That will shoot every time because the attention of Abantu Manje is on their phones and we don't see your brand and it's not good. So social media is the way. It's your biggest currency. All my money I make it from social media. All my money. I made close to $500,000 a year with social media only. So you need to. What I want to say is just guys must put out content. Guys are too scared. I don't know what's going on. Seriously. So you need to go out there and put out content. Doesn't matter if you're getting likes or you're not getting likes. Just put out content and give yourself a target. A day, I'm going to post 3 different adverts. A day, I'm going to post 3 different adverts. A day, I'm going to post 3. Every day. You do it every day, whether you're tired, whether you're sick, whether you're in the hospital, whether your mom passed away, every day. Just give yourself a target. 3 times a day, every day. You see, you.
Thank you so much, guys. You've been amazing. He's so correct because I did the same thing with this. I'm sure the first time you guys saw Mofire was on social media. Yes. I've been doing this for the past 12 years, guys, social media. Guys, upushe kube ngathi uyahlanya, ungabi nescam. Yazi? Let me tell you what it is. Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Pusha ngathi uyihlanya, you know? And a couple of years later, you'll be speaking a different story, you know? And Thina uNkulunkulu has been great. I mean, how much we've grown. You know, today it's so normalized to sort of walk into a place and see Mofire. Yes, we still don't have 100% penetration, but it's become so normalized. Guys, there was a time when it was tough. You couldn't find this thing anywhere. And it was the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. But I grew this thing off of this. I don't know what you guys are waiting for. So what they've all said on stage, for you to be bankable and get those rents coming in every month, Prarichi was talking about turnover 50,000 a month. The 50,000 a month of value divided. How much is that per day? You don't have to count on my weekends, although even those are hasinanga my weekends, but you can just say 50,000 imalini 5 days a week. 5 days, that means it's 20 days a month. So you just say 50,000 rands divided by 20 days. And then you get the target that you're supposed to make in a day. And then from there, you open social media platforms, you go crazy, especially TikTok. TikTok ilahlile, guys. And TikTok is very favorable to any type of content. You can be a motivational speaker, you can be a karate man, you can be a grass cutter, you can be a jiving specialist, you can be anything on TikTok and post it. And the shorter the content, the more likely it's got a potential of going viral or higher views. If maybe it's like 5 seconds or 10 seconds or less than 20 seconds. The longer it is, if it's dope, it might get higher views, but you're more likely to get higher views if your videos are like very short, especially if maybe it's an image, you will get higher views, or it's like a short video, 5 seconds. What? Sakaphumile. Then ushaya enye ivideo, guys, yazi ini yazi lo sisilo. Sakaphuma. Ngathi uyahlanya kanti yena uyayazi into ayenzayo. Sinjalo ke thina siyamahlanya ukuthi senze imali. Ngcono na usijoine sibe yibandla lamahlanya. Guys, God bless you. Nikhuleni bantwana basekhaya. Thank you so much for coming through, and shout out to everybody that's been watching us online. We appreciate you. Let's all grow. Let's make this money. We're taking this on the road next year in 2026. But thank you very much for plugging in today. This has been the Hustler's Corner. Thank you very much. Danko. Oh, guys, before we log off quickly, let me thank Access Bank. Sorry, don't pass the. Let me plug Access Bank. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Merchant Capital. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Rand Corp. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Masisizane Fund, Old Mutual, AMPD Studios in town, Mofire, Salesengufaka Pamba. Yini konje igama le sound company yakho boy. African Success Entertainment. Shout out to him, guys. Go hire his sound system for services. He can cater for up to 100 people. He does corporate events. He does parties, weddings. He does funerals as well around the Gauteng, more especially Soweto. Get in touch with him. What's your social media? Suxman, SUXMAN. Just Suxman, Pel. Nice one. We love you very much, guys. uNkulunkulu anibusise nenze ninyuke baya ningabe apologetic. Siyabonga.
Sorry, guys, then just a quick announcement. So I know we were supposed to have the pitching session there. Just because of time, we're not able to do that. But here's what we're gonna do. So listen closely now. You can send a 1-minute video. Now, I'll give you the amped line. You're gonna send a 1-minute video discussing who you are, discussing what your business is, and what you need assistance with, so that we can connect with Spoo for the next session that we're gonna do this. So the WhatsApp number